Awaken within your life. Awaken to your destiny. Aloha, shifters, multidimensional friends, dreamers within this beautiful holographic matrix. Once again, my name is Brendon, aka Skull Babylon, aka Skull the Wolf, inviting and welcoming you to another very exciting and inspirational live broadcasted edition of a Paradigm Shift Central team building circle through ParadigmShiftCentral.com, a real world interactive game to help shift consciousness. So much love to everyone tuning into this, wherever you are, whenever you are in the future. Today on June 29th, we are getting ready to get right into another opportunity for us as a team to be able to synchronize, to be able to practice sharing our stories, our visions, our intentions, and to be able to learn a little bit more about who each of us are. And I'll give you a brief overview of what the project is. But before we even do that, we got two people currently in the broadcast as we get things going, and more people will be joining as the broadcast continues to unfold. But in the meantime, if I can just invite Forrest and Savoy to unmute your microphones, make some noise, guys. Just do a little wolf howls. Go. Ow, ow, ow. Welcome.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for being here, and we'll get into the passing of the talking stick around in the next moment. Let me just do a quick introduction again for those of you who may not be entirely familiar with the project, and knowing that there are always going to be people who are tuning into this project every single week for the first time. Welcome. And of course, ParadigmShiftCentral.com, as mentioned, it can be thought of as a real-world interactive game to help shift consciousness, as well as also being a conscious media production company. So through the main Paradigm Shift Central website, we are helping create a global team of shifters, people actively helping assist with the shift in consciousness, and also focusing on the documentation of the shift in consciousness through the creation of conscious media. So in addition to this, there are also the physical paradigm shift communities that exist all across the world. And paradigm shift communities are about creating space, sacred space, to be able to have open-minded discussion and meditation circles, and to be able to help build the tribe wherever we are. So we're always, of course, inviting people to be tuned in and involved with this project on many different levels, whether it is simply as an observer within the audience or an active participant within the Google Hangouts. Everyone who is synced up with this project is involved in some way or another. So inviting you to be able to listen to these broadcasts, download the inspiration from it, and continue to carry the shift with you wherever you go. So in terms of some basic stuff that we're going to be doing in this broadcast, kind of similar with some regular routine, we're going to be able to learn a little bit more about the people who are joining us, as well as some of the work that they are doing to be able to help shift consciousness, be it through the creation of conscious media, community events, and so forth and so on. So if you guys are watching this broadcast, perhaps on YouTube, then of course we just want to be able to invite you to join in, and you can do that through the main website. You just have to create a profile, and knowing that broadcasts in the future are going to start at 9:36 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as a regular thing, as close as we can to that time. And then once the broadcasts begin, all you got to do is go to live.paradigmshiftcentral.com, and you'll see the pop-up, and it's really easy and awesome to be able to sync up that way. So lots of ways to interact. And in terms of some basic updates, there has been a few updates on the website. I'm not really going to get into those just yet. They aren't super huge or anything. As for myself, I recently came back from the Om Festival, which was a festival that happened here in Ontario, Canada, and it was my 4th year attending. It is a transformational festival, a beautiful gathering of souls. And even in this moment, I'm still really feeling inspired. And I went there and I filled my cup with a lot of the amazing energy of the people there, and I'm excited to be able to bring that back with you guys as we continue to move forward, the inspiration to be able to help continue in the work that we're doing. Side note, just as an FYI, I am currently getting over a bit of a cold right now, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It just means I am sort of like purging any old stuff and getting ready to level up. That's how I usually look at basic colds. So but just as an FYI, if you like see me like sweating on camera, it's like partially because of my cold and partially because it's hot in here. But nonetheless, we'll make sure that we're going to wrap up this broadcast around the 2-hour mark. And again, keeping it synchronized with that intention. So within that, I'm going to pass the talking stick around in the next moment to get Forrest and Savoy to introduce themselves. And they are also some conscious media creators. So I'm excited to be able to have them here as well. And also within some of the things that I'm working on personally, I got a few videos in the work. One of them is actually going to be the Mystic Spider-Man free hugs video. You guys might have heard me mention this a while back, and I'm looking to finish this as soon as I can to be able to help release it, synchronized coincidentally with the release of the new Spider-Man movie, which again is going to be very exciting. So a big part of this project, when you kind of step back, there is like this base level narrative of again a bunch of people working together to help change the world, but then you sort of realize that there's different degrees within this narrative, one of them being that we are literally building a global team of light workers, of light guardian, of Jedi, and of real world superheroes. So that's where within the project you hear about us being able to do things like free hugs, and of course that's a big part of the project that we want to be able to invite people to get involved with. So again, right before we pass the talking stick around, guys, if you haven't yet, check out the main website, explore it, click around, understand that the website can be thought of as the video game interface. So there's a lot on there, and beyond these broadcasts, there's awesome opportunities to continue to be involved through the Shift teams, which we'll get into a little bit later, as well as within the voice chat. And speaking of voice chat, Sean, who actually just joined now, assuming this is the same Sean, just as an example, last time we did a broadcast was on the full moon. After that broadcast, it was kind of fun because literally me and Sean hopped on the team voice chat, and we were like literally talking for like 2 hours after the initial hangout. And again, so the voice chat and the website is designed for us to be able to collaborate. You can think of it as a virtual hub for us to be able to work together as a production company, as well as just basic conscious community in that sense. So a lot of awesome stuff involved with this project, and inviting you guys to be able to find your place amongst it and to be able to download the inspiration, as I mentioned, to be able to get involved documenting the shift, and also taking the further steps to be able to help engage with your physical community through the creation of conscious paradigm shift communities or anything else that you guys are doing to help assist with the shift where you are. So thank you again, everyone, for tuning in. Please continue to share this broadcast. And with that said, I am happy to be able to pass the talking stick around, and let's hear a little bit more about the people involved, understanding that this is a chance for us to be able to practice listening, sharing our stories, and evolving as a team through the ongoing narrative from week to week and month to month and year to year and day to day, and all these awesome opportunities that we got going on. So with that said, I'll pass it over to Forrest, actually, if he would like to go first. And just as a quick introduction, Forrest and I, we've been connected just more so just recently, but Forrest, I know, is really involved with some awesome stuff. So I'll let him tell you a little bit more about that. So Forrest, if you want to unmute your microphone, please feel free to go ahead. Introduce yourself just by saying a bit about your name, where you're from, and what you're doing to help assist with the shift. So Forrest, welcome, and go right ahead, brother.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm super glad to be able to, participate in a live sort of event of a collection of minds where we all want to improve the world and help each other live more happy and fulfilling lives. So I'm just, I'm very thankful for that. First of all, thank you so much, Brendon, for everything that you do, and for setting this up. It really, it's a great thing, and so I greatly admire that in you. So my name is Forrest Neal, and I am a volunteer meditation instructor at the Meditation Center of Alabama. It's located in Mobile, Alabama, and we've been in operation for about 10 years. I've been volunteering and participating in classes for about 2 years now. And I really became fascinated in it whenever I discovered that it's an excellent way, practicing meditation is an excellent way to reach higher states of consciousness without the use of any sort of psychedelic drugs or any other prescription medications. It's a great way for us just being who we are, being able to tap into our inner ability to raise our consciousness. And since I found that in myself, I've just been trying to share that with more and more people, however I can possibly do that. So I've been giving lectures at our local university, the University of South Alabama, about meditation. And I've also been making a few YouTube videos. And recently I've been helping people on Instagram, really anybody that wants to talk about any spiritual topic or about meditation. I've allowed them, to give me their phone number, and I would speak to them over the phone and answer some of their questions. And many times it can be very, very hard and difficult situations for people. But I've been able to help people that way, and it's just been unbelievably fulfilling to help more and more people. So I just want to be more and more involved in a group of people that also think the same way. And I'm just, like I said, I'm just so glad to finally be connected to that group. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing and for what you're doing. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to ask you, because one of the things that within a recent conversation you shared with me, how you've recently been doing your own form of shiftivism. And again, shiftivism is just kind of like the term that we use where you're doing intentional acts to be able to help assist with the shift, acts of compassion. But you're doing something really cool, where you're like sitting at a busy street intersection, and you've been doing this on and off for a while now. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and how that's been going? Any feedback or anything?
Yeah, yeah. So I got to a point in my meditation that I knew that I was able to practice it. I knew I was moving in the right direction, but there was just something about what I was experiencing that I just knew I could experience more. And you know, after practicing in a quiet and peaceful environment, I just realized that, in America, that's not the environment that we are in the majority of the time. Most of the time, we're not in a peaceful environment. Most of the time, it's pretty wild and crazy, all the stuff that's going on around us, as far as, how busy people are and how much everyone wants to get certain things done. There are very few moments where there's just a peaceful interaction from person to person. And so I just knew that in order for me to be able to work very well in this environment, I would need to practice calming my mind in an extremely difficult environment. And so I asked myself, what's the most difficult place that I could possibly think of in order to find focus, in order to increase my level of consciousness? How can I, find that place? And the answer that I got was to go to the busiest street in my town and go there at the busiest time, which was Friday and Saturday nights, at sunset. And I would sit under a tree in the middle of the street and I would meditate for, between an hour and 2 hours at a time. And I can tell you, it's just been an unbelievable experience. I get better and better at it every time. But every time that I do it, I'm just gifted with such a beautiful perspective of the world. And it's different from the traditional sense of meditation. And I think a lot of it does have to do with the environment that we are developing ourselves. So I've just been practicing meditating in the middle of the street, and I've just been so fortunate enough to actually have people, come sit behind me, come sit in a line, so that we're all participating together. And I think that it's really because people are seeing what I'm doing, and it's making them question what's going on. And I think that more than anything is what I tried to accomplish, as far as bringing more and more people in to practice meditation, just to question, why is it that this person thinks that meditating in the middle of the street is an appropriate action to make? And because of that, there's been many people who have stopped by the meditation center and who have asked me, or have asked about me. So I know that sitting in the middle of the street does actually have a direct influence on the way that other people are viewing the idea of meditation. So that's really just what I've been doing. And it's difficult. I'm not gonna say that it's easy and that anybody could do it right now, but I can tell you that if someone wanted to practice something like that, it is definitely a fulfilling activity to practice. And I would love to speak more about that to anybody interested.
Very cool, very cool shiftivism report you have there for us. I think that's wonderful, and yeah, I think it's exciting to be able to hear about other people doing things like that because sometimes I think some of us might like almost like get that idea, but then maybe we don't like take that initial step to just do it, even though like essentially it's like doing not nothing. I mean, you are merging with the no thingness, but I mean, sit down in one spot and just stay there, right? Like it's so simple, but it's really cool because in today's day and age, like that's like the extreme. Stillness is the extreme, right? Like so it's really powerful. And I think for other people, in terms of getting ideas for shiftivism, in addition to doing free hugs, yeah, organizing like synchronized meditation events, or even just like sitting down in your downtown area and having a sign next to you or not, that just maybe says like, like feel free to join me, or feel free to sit down next to me, or something like that. Lo and behold, something will happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've done some group meditations outside and everything. They were coordinated, but to do a spontaneous one, that's something that I would still I like. Now that hearing about you do it actually sort of like gets me thinking about it. Be like, yeah, that'd be kind of fun. I feel like I should do that sometime soon. So very cool, man. That's very exciting to hear. If there's anything else you want to share, please feel free to share it. But in addition, please feel free to let people know about your YouTube channel or any other ways that people can connect and check out more of what you're doing. And we'll also include your links into the show notes as well.
Okay, great. Well, I'm working on YouTube videos, and I'm still in the process of discovering the groove that I'm trying to carve in that process. But I am consistently making YouTube videos, and so if you just want to search Forrest Neal into YouTube, I'll be the first person that you find. My the link to it is on my page that I signed up for the Paradigm Shift Central page, so you can also find it there. But yeah, I'm just really trying any way that I can. I'm so determined to find a way to just help people. I've had such an amazing life. Amazing in the sense that it doesn't happen to many people, and I'm fortunate for the events. Many people might even view the events that have happened to me in a negative way, like I once did, like breaking my back. I broke my back playing football in high school, and that was just an unbelievable life-changing experience. I thought I was going in one direction in my life, and then suddenly something happens and everything completely changes, and I had to figure everything out again. I hit rock bottom, and that was just one of the events that took me along the path that I'm in right now. And there are many more events like that that are just very, very, just life defining. And so I'm just very fortunate for those events to have happened to me, and in any way that I can, I want to use those events as lessons in order to teach other people from what I've learned. And in any way that I can do that, I'm really trying to do. I'm full steam ahead towards making the world a better place.
Awesome. Awesome, man. Much love for what you're doing, and I think you're doing a great job of it. And I'm going to take some time to check out more of your YouTube channel. I did check out just some of the basic stuff I saw on the front, but I think you got a really cool format using like green screen backdrops and stuff. And again, a big part of this project is helping people who are already creating content, helping curate that. So we'll take more of a closer look outside of this broadcast at some of your content, and we'll pick a couple of your videos, and then we can start curating those through the Paradigm Shift Central page as well. And we'll get you in the habit of creating some quest journals and stuff, and we'll talk more about that later. But yeah, man, happy to have you on board, and thank you for holding space where you are. And remind me again exactly which city you are in.
I am in Mobile, Alabama.
Alabama. Perfect,
Yes,
man.
sir.
That sounds like a great place for some shiftiness. So
Oh yeah, it's excellent. We are
awesome.
the tip of the spear, so it's excellent.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Sweet. Well, Forrest, I look forward to hearing more as we continue to evolve the project. So much
All
love,
right.
brother. Awesome, man. Sweet. So we'll pass the talking stick around, and we're going to pass it to Savoy and Annex. I know they have to head out soon enough. Before we do that, guys, I just want to just give a quick shout out to our friend Parker, just speaking about Facebook things and what we're doing through the Facebook. Again, as a media production company, what we're doing is we're using social media tactics to be able to help get videos out there and accelerate the shift. Parker, just as an example, he had a video that he made that some of you may have seen that got posted through the Facebook page, and it was a video of Alan Watts, why the apple tree apples, and it was a really cool like audio that he edited, plus like some graphics that he put together, very professionally done. And we took that and we uploaded to the Facebook page, and that video had a good boost of viralness, and it reached about 40,000 Facebook points, which is awesome. So I just want to give like a collective team thumbs up to Parker on a job well done for creating that video. And again, you know, I think that's good for the entire team. I don't think it is good for the entire team. And that's kind of the really cool way of how this project works, is that when we're centralizing things through this project and we're uploading through a single platform, say, for example, when Parker's video gains more audience, that in turn gains more audience for everyone's videos who continue to get uploaded throughout the future. So very cool. And Parker, thank you so much. And he's got some more stuff in the works. And there's actually another Alan Watts video that will be uploading soon. So take a look at that, even though it already is online as a Quest journal as well. So before we just pass it to Savoy, I just wanted to mention, guys, that a big part of this project is the support that we have through the team Patreon. And without having to get too much into the detail about the team Patreon now, I just want to be able to invite people to be able to contribute to the team Patreon while we are doing this broadcast. And so anybody who contributes to the broadcast, anybody who contributes to the team Patreon while we're in the broadcast or within like a 24-hour period, I'll be sure to put in some extra bonus buttons for you. And again, the Patreon is a way to be able to help support this project through monthly micro contributions. When we all give a little, we all get a lot. So everything for this project is totally free, and through that, a lot of people find value. And if you want to help support the project, one of the ways you can do it is through the team Patreon with a monthly micro donation of just $3 to $5, and in turn you get a shifter booster kit, which comes with your shift buttons and your free hug signs and other crystals and some level 1 massage tools, and it's worth about $70, and it helps give you some epic tools to be able to help accelerate the shift where you are. So the links for that are in the info for this YouTube video, as well as they're like in the cards in this YouTube video, if you understand that. But you can check out patreon.com/Brendon Culliton, and also on the main Paradigm Shift Central website. If you just go to the menu, you will see the link to the Patreon there as well. So again, huge to everyone. And there's something else I was going to mention in relation to that, but I guess I'll mention it later because I'm not exactly sure what it was. So nonetheless, we will pass it over to Savoy and we will continue the flow. So Savoy, thank you so much for joining. We'll pass over to you. So again, you can just say who you are, where you're from, and what you're doing to help assist with the shift where you are. So Savoy, welcome, and go right ahead.
I'm in so much awe of you guys. Like,
so I'll just jump a little closer to the mic before you get started, dude.
Okay, I'm in so much awe with you guys. I'm like this is beautiful. Your detail in it, Forrest, what you're doing out there, meditating on a city street, enrolling people to meditate with you, and enrolling people to go to where you are. Like, that's epic. Sorry if I'm looking this way because this is my screen. But Skull, man, Brendon, you've been doing this for so long, and to watch you and like I don't know what it's called, the background that you have, the weight to who you are right now is just, it's beautiful to see and to watch. And to watch you grow over these 4 years, man, that's 3 years, 3, 4, I don't even know. It's it's been beautiful. And
thank you, man. Thank you.
Well, I'm at a loss for words, even though I said a lot. So, as you know, my name's Savoy. I have been in this, spiritual community online. Not necessarily Paradigm Shift, but there's, the community that we all have collectively. For about 4 years, and currently at the moment I've been training since I was a child to get to the point where I can teach people ascension training and how to search inside of their body, how to allow their soul to come outside and be their sole purpose, be their sole purpose in their body. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. Called Becoming Superhumans on Facebook, if you guys want to look that up. But I would really love to just pass the torch and to kind of sit back in awe and listen to you guys, because this is beautiful.
Awesome, man. Thank you. Thank you for being here, dude. And yeah, I did just want to point out, because I know I just a sidestep here earlier today. This is actually the second broadcast that Savoy and I have actually been involved with today. There's an earlier broadcast which you can find through the Paradigm Shift Central website under the new videos, and I'll put a quest journal up for it separately on the Way of Conscious Mindfulness podcast with our friend Paul Boggy, which I really encourage you guys to go check out. I was a guest on there, and that podcast has been running for a year, and it was kind of cool because it kind of was inspired by what we were doing with Paradigm Shift. Like We've literally been doing these live broadcasts since 2012, which is awesome to think that we've been doing the broadcast this long, but the project's been going even longer than that, since 2009 at least. But yeah, it's just within that, I was just mentioning Savoy is also a conscious media creator, and I know you've been creating some videos. And again, we can talk about this outside the broadcast, but dude, I'd love to be able to collaborate and to be able to even just take a closer look at some of the videos that you've already done and figure out which ones we can help curate and stuff, because I've seen what you've been working on, and I know even similar to Forrest, both of you already have the involvement with green screen and graphics and stuff like that, and those are really powerful tools right now. So yeah, Savoy, that's again, much love for what you're already developing within your skills, and yeah, I'm excited to be able to see just what we can work on together. So that'll be really cool, man.
Thank you. Let's do this.
Let's do this. Awesome. Sweet, guys. All right. Another thing I was just reminded of, for those of you, again, for those of you looking to connect with anybody that you hear in this podcast, this broadcast, this hypercast, whatever we're doing here, check the show note links, and we'll have the links in there for people, and you can find those on the main website under this episode for June 29th. Just scroll down a bit, and also in the info for the YouTube, it will be in the comments. In particular for Forrest, I know Forrest mentioned to just YouTube his name, Forrest Neal. In particular, again, because those of you who wouldn't necessarily know, Forrest has 2 R's, so that would be something to take note of. So it's FORRESTNEAL. So otherwise, it may not show up. I'm not entirely sure, but just wanted to clarify that for those of you who want to go take a look for that. And again, for those of you who haven't yet, be sure to Paradigm Shift Central on Facebook. So facebook.com/Paradigm Shift Central. So there's many aspects to this project. There's the main website, and then there's the Facebook platform. And through the Facebook, it's kind of more focused towards featured content, featured community content. And I do my best through there to be able to keep an eye open for people who are maybe doing live broadcasts, who I'm already friends with, and then I'll just kind of share it on the fly. Or again, through there, we'll upload specific videos with the intention of it going viral. And we also are going to be getting more into the habit of meme creation and images, and just expanding the way of how we can continue to reach more people through the Facebook as a conscious media production company. And again, a big part of this project, and I've said this before, and I've said it even just recently on my podcast, on the Facebook wall, this is really about, right now, this is about building the core team. It's great that we're reaching more people, but beyond just the idea of reaching people, this is really about inviting people to be a part of that core team and finding their place within that core team as much as they choose, as much as they either have the time for, or they will to be a part of. And there's a lot of already amazing people involved in the project. Currently on the Paradigm Shift Central website, just to give you guys a little bit of information, since we switched to the platform that we're on a couple of years ago, even though the upgrades have been ongoing, we currently have over about 667 members signed up, which is pretty cool. So as to how many of those are active, hard to say, but even just right now, I know there's a lot of people who are synced up. And again, with the project moving forward, a big part of this is going to be getting into the habits and the routine. So be sure to check out the schedules on the website under the events and everything, because rather than just depending on like me telling you through Facebook or you getting an email that may end up in your spam box, go out of your way to check the website on your own. That is like the best way to play the game. That way, so that you know when things are happening and you can just show up. For example, the next broadcast that we'll be doing following this one will be the Paradigm Shift Dream class. And that's going to be happening this Tuesday, July 4th. And again, similar to this broadcast in terms of like the format of Google Hangout, it will be specifically focused around the topic of dreams and dream exploration. So I'm letting you know now so that for those of you who are tuning in live, you can actually set your intention so that you can actually put in some intention and some focus towards your dream practice. So, you know, start writing down your dreams, start like doing whatever you need to do to get to engage with your dreams, and then come to dream class and we'll be able to talk about our practices involved with dreaming, working towards lucid dreaming, astral projection, exploring what it means to be a multidimensional being, and again, becoming better dreamers within the dream, within our sleeping dreams, within our waking dreams. That's a very, very, again, one of the bigger overarching hyper themes of this project is really inviting and inspiring people to understand our potentials within this reality as co-creators of this dream. So that's when you start getting into the deep metaphysical stuff. So again, guys, thank you so much for those of you who are tuned into this broadcast. And we do have a couple other people here who are already in the Hangout. If those of you who are tuned into this want to join, all you got to do is go to the main website, go to the link for this broadcast, and make sure you have a membership profile so that you could join as a member as well. And again, it's free to create a member profile and everything. You just do it through the main website. So let's see if Sean is available and if Sean perhaps wants to introduce himself. Sean, when you have a chance, do you want to just unmute your microphone and say hello if you're there? I'll just give Sean a second there. I think he's got his microphone on mute, even though it's not showing up. So we're just going to see if that's going to work. Maybe not. No worries. So again, guys, you know, beyond these broadcasts, as I mentioned, be sure to, you know, let's get in the habit of syncing up with the voice chat through the website. And another thing, I'll mention this, and then we'll try passing it over to Wisdom Lover in the next second. Before the dream class on Tuesday, on Monday will be our regular work period. So throughout the week, we are working on stuff, but what happens on Monday, and again, this is something new, we're getting into the hang of it. We've done one officially so far. Monday is our shift team's work period. So basically this means that on Monday, starting at 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, literally, I myself will be on the website doing either a broadcast or not, or at least on the website, and inviting people to join and be on the website, jump in the voice chat, and collaborate on working on projects, working on ideas, brainstorming, and figuring out the different ways of how we can continue to enrich the entire community experience. So that's this Monday as well as every Monday starting at 9 a.m. So if you're looking to be involved with that, again, be sure to create your profile, jump on the website, join the live chat, get involved. And again, one of the big parts within this project that we're really getting into is the addition of the shift teams. So the shift teams are different aspects within the community project that people can join that are tailored towards specific objectives. So some of the shift teams we currently have activated are the animations team. So again, that's digital animations, maybe even non-digital animations. And so if that's something you're already involved with, then please feel free to join the animations team, because there's a lot of awesome animation stuff we're going to be able to collaborate on in the future. The articles team, the conscious articles team, that's a place where people can go and practice brainstorming articles, suggest topics for other people, pick up topics, share drafts of articles before they are completed, and just be able to collaborate and support through that platform as well. Every team has its own, basically its own mini website within the website. So go to the menu and then click on shift teams, and then you can find the list there. And again, to join, you just have to be a member on the website. The conscious memes team. So again, talking about creating the, evolving the outreach of the Facebook page. One of the ways to do this is by creating meme images. And that is something, again, a lot of these teams, we haven't fully we have them, but we haven't fully gotten into the thick of the work of them, but that's going to be happening over the coming weeks as a production company. The memes team, if you want to, if you're a person who's good at finding inspirational quotes or making inspirational quotes, or if you're good with Photoshop and you're good with creating sort of cool backgrounds and cool text and layout, and you're interested in the graphic style of things, memes team would be a great place for you to be involved. Dreams team is an extension of the Paradigm Shift Dreams class. So that would be a place where people can continue to share resources on how to become better dreamers, as well as even sharing some of their dream experiences or any questions that they may have. Then from there, we also have the mental health team. And again, the mental health team is a very important team. And the mental health team is actually in the future going to be helping basically like sort of, I'm trying to think of the right word for this, but kind of like be sponsors for specific broadcasts that we'll be doing in the future. So there's going to be some broadcasts that we're going to be doing in the future that mental health team will kind of be like hosting in a sense. So some people within the mental health team, they'll be directly involved with that. Of course, I'll be involved with that as well. But again, that will be a great place for us to be able to talk about mental health, talk about some of even the taboo things, and be able to help destigmatize things and creating a safe space for community to be able to support each other within that. Because I think, you know, within the concept of the bigger shift in consciousness, mental health is a very important thing to be able to talk about, you know, and we can get more into that even within this broadcast a little bit as well. The mobile app team is, again, you know, if you're familiar with app design or even the graphic design part of it, that is where you can join for that. The music team, if you're already into music production, join in with that, and you can help supply your music for other people to use within some of their videos that they're creating, and also to be able to share some of the content that you're doing. And the music team is also helping curate the radio within the website. Within the buttons on the website, you'll see the radio button. Check that, and you'll find some of the artists within the music team on the radio playlist. The encyclopedia team, that's going to be an ongoing thing where within the website, literally, you know, what we're building the website in now, like it won't fully be completed, like for, you know, in there's certain parts of it that will take a while till it's like fully actualized, maybe sooner rather than later, but the encyclopedia will be a big part of that. So say in a year from now, people will be able to join this website, and there will be an in-depth encyclopedia that will have specific lists of topics that people can just check out and learn things in a more accelerated and intuitive sense. So again, thinking that somebody finds this website, say somebody like free hugs someone and gets a shift button, and then they find this website for the very first time, and maybe this spirituality stuff is very new to them. The encyclopedia would be a beautiful tool for them to be able to get introduced to some of the topics, say like auras and astral projection and binaural beats and chakras. And so you guys can help with building that. And we'll actually start building some of that even on Monday as well. So some people can sort of say like, okay, I'm going to start writing about chakras, you know, and then we can start writing about that. Or, you know, maybe Forrest can start doing a little blurb about meditation, and, you know, we'll sort of figure it out as we go. Social media tactics team, there's just 2 more teams left. I'll mention these and then we'll get into the next person. Social media tactics team, this is a very important team. So social media tactics is a team where we brainstorm the different ways of how to be able to extend the reach of the website and the community to be able to help reach a wider audience, or just be able to reach them, not just in terms of like popularity, but in terms of success. You know, how are we creating engaging content? And also the social media team are people who are helping manage the Paradigm Shift Central Facebook page and other aspects of the website, including live broadcasts. So that's a lot of back end work. It's very technical, but it's very important. So that is like one of the teams that it's not super complicated to be involved with, but if you can be involved with that, it's going to help. So example, you know, within the broadcast, within the weeks to come, we might have a specific video that we're trying to like get out there and curate. The social media team will jump on that and be like, okay, I'll volunteer to help share this in a bunch of groups. And also the social media team will be people where, say I'm on the go and I'm like, hey, can you upload this video for me? I'll send them a link and they know the format, and then they can upload it to Facebook without me always having to do it. So we're kind of extending the workload, and the social media team is very, very important within the bigger project. And then of course the video production team. The video production team is again a big core part about this project. For those of us who are feeling the draw to video production, this is where we get to talk about some of the software that we're using, the editing softwares, the camera equipment, projects that we're working on, brainstorming, talking about techniques, collaborating, suggesting ideas. Again, it will just naturally evolve out of that. So those are the main activated teams right now within the website. And again, what we want to do is we want to invite people to find their place within the team, within the paradigm shift ship, in this spaceship you can think about. So inviting you guys to understand that each one of us kind of has like our own unique skills and gifts and keys that we carry. And the shift teams are one of the ways in which we can help sort of like curate those skills towards specific objectives. So within the shift teams, we also have our shift team assignments, and you can find that under the menu, and that will be updated so you guys can kind of check and see what is being worked on. And yeah, we'll go over more of that in the detail and stuff on the Shift team's work period, which again, every Monday, jump on the website during the day between 9 p.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that's our scheduled work period. But the idea within this project is that we continue to work beyond just that Monday. It's just that the Monday, that's like a very specific schedule. So we'll be working on stuff throughout the week. And that's kind of the beautiful thing about it, is that we'll continue to see like how fast this will be able to accelerate. But again, we're not really focusing on we're focusing on doing things in a successful way, opposed to just a way that's going to be like popular sort of thing. The popularity and success are two different things. So a big part of this project is keeping things grounded and going slow and steady and being patient and creating conscious media with intention and quality. So even going back to, I'll just say this real quick and then we'll pass it around, even involved with the quest journals. On the quest journals on the main website, a big part of that is creating quality quest journals. So a quest journal is not a Facebook post where you just kind of like post a link to a video that you didn't make and tell people to check it out. Not to say you can't do that. If you are posting somebody else's video, add in at least 2 or 3 paragraphs about why you're sharing it, how it has impacted you, and what you hope other people will get out of it. That's kind of what you want to be able to use more of the quest journals for, as well as, again, the quest journals are a place to document your own personal experiences related to shiftivism, related to synchronicities, related to visions, intentions, reflections, dream journals as well, and also being able to share any of the creations, poetry, videos, music that you're creating through the website. And so again, focusing on quality opposed to quantity. And again, the conscious articles are an extension of the quest journals, but a conscious article can basically be thought of as what you kind of see throughout social media. They're longer, and you can almost think of them as like an essay in a sense. So just kind of like more focused on the quality content. So again, those will be tools to be able to help get awesome ideas out, and as well as invite people back to the website, invite them to get involved, invite them to be able to find their place amongst the team. So there's other stuff to mention, guys, but that's just kind of the core aspects. And again, for those of you who may be new to this project, you can always go back and check out past broadcasts as well. So let's pass the talking stick around. And I did just kind of want to see if Sean, I think you were just saying in the comments that editing and listening, I have a mic, just listening unless you have any questions. Sean, if you have a second, can you just do a quick introduction and even just kind of share maybe what you're working on or anything like that? Because I know you're pretty busy on the media creation side of things on the back end, based on my understanding. So Sean, go ahead and try coming through right now if you got a chance. So I'm just gonna check the mic. So we're just giving 1 second for Sean. Sean's mic is muted right now. I think you know that though. So there we go. Okay, yeah, I think we can hear you, Sean.
All right.
All right, go ahead, brother. Welcome back.
Oh, yes. Doing like 2 things at once and listening at the same time. Geez, what am I up to? I don't know. Not up to too much. No, bunch of stuff. I don't know. He's just wondering what plans you had going on.
What are you working on anything right now? Like, I know before, we were kind of talking about just like, we were talking about different ways of like helping create like conscious memes and curating and influencers and stuff like that. Is there anything you feel people should keep in mind when it comes to helping assist with the shift in terms of media or anything?
In terms of media, I mean, I think, yeah, I guess you said it, like social media. I guess, yeah, like I was commenting on your Instagram about like maybe starting pods, I guess you call it, Instagram pods, or like social media pods. Stuff like Facebook, Instagram, or like a group of people will all kind of follow each other. I guess maybe like turn each other's notifications on so you can tell when somebody posts, and then everybody like likes and comments on that post, and it pushes the I guess posts up in the algorithm. That was something come across recently. I guess whenever we like get organized to I don't know, get stuff out there. Maybe during campaign periods, like you were saying.
Yeah, that would be something to look into. Is like, again, just kind of like how to like launch things when we're kind of like first putting them out there, be it through Instagram and other stuff. So yeah, that's stuff we can brainstorm more about outside of this broadcast, I think. So, but yeah.
Yeah, it's all kind of stuff. But yeah, no, I was just sitting back editing and listening.
Cool, man. Well, thank you for being here. Anything else you want to share right now? Otherwise, we'll keep passing the talk and stick around.
No, not really. Or I don't know, jump in. Something pops up.
Cool.
If I can add in.
Good, sounds good. Awesome. All right. Okay. Thanks, Sean. Cool. See, that's kind of like, even right now, people are listening to this broadcast and they're working on things. Like, how cool is that, right? And I know there's like, it's not just Sean. Like, there's other people working on stuff right now too. So, just a quick note I just wanted to say, and then we're going to pass over to Wisdom Lover in a second, and I'm pretty sure they're there. For those of you on the main website, just to clarify, within the last couple of weeks, there has been some updates that have been happening on the platform. The platform for the website is known as Ning. If you were to go to ning.com, you'll see it's like create your own website and stuff like that. And of course, we've done our best to kind of like create it into our own like platform and everything. And that's what the recent updates have really been about. But one thing that they've been doing is that they've been upgrading their like membership, their member chat on their end. For those of you who saw before, you saw like there was another version of the chat and it was like pretty basic, but it worked. Only until just recently, like the chat was down and then it got reactivated. But right now, I am well aware that the team chat is kind of convoluted. Like it seems like overly complicated and there's like kind of like rooms within the chat and it's like, I'm still kind of figuring it out. So I just wanted to clarify it for anybody who's like a little confused by the team chat. I'm with you on that, but we're still going to make the most of it. But in addition to there's two chats on the website. There's what you see as the live chat, and then there's the team chat. The live chat is open to anybody who doesn't have a membership, and it's open to public, and we can also still use that as well, and it's just very straightforward chat. So in addition to that, there is the team chat, and the team chat is what is only available to members who have created a profile through the website. So it's my hope that the chat will eventually just become better as Ning continues to work on it. But yeah, in the meantime, I indirectly apologize for any inconvenience of it, but nonetheless, we'll keep working, even just using the main chat and also the voice chat as well. So it's not really going to slow us down, but if anybody's checking it out, just for now, feel free to just either use the regular live chat opposed to the team chat. But yeah, just wanted to clarify that because that was like something that happened within the website recently. So, but other than that, the website should be running pretty smoothly. The refresh times should be running pretty smoothly. And I did have to fix some stuff on my back end in terms of it like not being able to work properly on some mobile devices. Like that was a thing that happened and I figured out that problem, but yeah, so it's running pretty smoothly. There is one other error that I'm aware of right now, and again, I think it's Ning on their back end, and this is just kind of technical stuff, but for those of you who are involved in everything, it's important to know. From what I understand right now, based on my experience, and I'm still trying to problem solve it, even though I don't think it's on our end, Facebook isn't fetching the previews for links on the website, new links on the website when posted to Facebook. So like if you create a quest journal right now and you share it to Facebook, it's not going to load up with the preview right now, which is kind of like, that's a pretty big inconvenience, to be honest. But right now we're just kind of like being patient and let's just assume it's going to get resolved in the near future. But for those of you curious, that is just like something that's happening right now. But yeah, just letting you guys know. But other than that, other aspects on the website, I had to update the team ping map. Those of you who are in the website previously, you would have seen the ping map was a flat map. Now it is a 3D map. This was actually, again, part of me tracking down the error of the site that was causing an error on the mobile. The internet, like codes and stuff are weird. You'll get like one code and it will like glitch out everything else, even though you wouldn't think it would. There was a code that I had within the ping map that showed how many users were online. That code, even though it was fine for the longest time, suddenly started causing this error. So I had to remove it. And in place of that, I replaced it with the 3D globe map, even though maybe we're on a flat Earth or something. Don't worry about it. I don't know. It's a hypercube Earth, I swear. We'll get into a Destiny school later about flat Earth. Don't worry about it. But again, even within the 3D globe map, it's kind of cool because you can actually even there see how many people are online on the website currently in that moment. So right now I can tell that somebody is online from Brampton and somebody is actually online from Rio de Janeiro. So it's an alternative to what we had, but it still works. Other than that, pretty much mostly everything on the website is what it was a few weeks ago. And if there are any other updates, I'll let you guys know as well. So yeah, I'll I think from there, I just want to give a shout out to people in the live chat, and we have 17 people watching. And again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I just want to go back briefly to the team Patreon. If we can get some people signed up for the team Patreon within this broadcast, that is a huge bonus. We are currently working towards our next team milestone of 800, and we are currently at about 740. And again, the team Patreon is monthly micro donations to support the project. Yes, that is helping support my livelihood through my full-time commitment to this project, which I'm grateful for, to be able to contribute my service. But what's really cool is that we continue to build the team Patreon. It's getting to the point where we are going to be able to have the abundance of resources where we are going to be able to directly support people who are contributing to the project through financial contributions. So say there's somebody who worked on an awesome video specifically to be able to help curate through Paradigm Shift Central, we want to be able to like send them a little bit of money to be able to help compensate them for their time. So again, you know, right now we're at 800. Literally the goal is slow and steady to get up to like 2,000, 3,000, maybe even 5,000. And in the process of doing that, the core team of people will actually be able to hire them on. So that's where you get into this idea of it being a production company. And in addition to that, I totally invite you guys and encourage you to check out patreon.com and create your own Patreon profiles. Because in addition to the team Patreon, I really invite people to have their own Patreon formats, their own Patreon accounts and everything as well. And a big part of this project is helping support other people's Patrons. And we'll be getting more into that in the future. But you can find that on the main website. You can scroll down and there's like a little thing that says support these Patrons, these shifters on Patreon. So I encourage you guys to go check out that and check out some of the other people who already have their Patreon set up, and check out what they are creating and add your support if you would like to do that currently. So yeah, that's kind of yeah, okay, we'll keep moving forward. I will just say we're gonna get close to wrapping up this broadcast, probably no later than midnight. It will be sometime or in about an hour from now, and again, that's just to keep things in a container, as well as just because at this point it's important for us to not overexert ourselves. But even after the broadcast, I invite people to continue to stay on the website and even jump in the voice chat. So jumping in the voice chat, you can create that on, you can access that on a mobile device, which is really cool because you can either use the voice chat through the website. But what was cool, and again, me and Sean did this last week, is that, you know, after the broadcast, I plugged in my phone and plugged in my headphones to my phone, turned on the voice chat and went for a walk. And so like I was talking to Sean on the voice chat while walking out, and there was a full moon that night. So I was just like walking around and we were literally brainstorming for like 2 hours and stuff. So that will be, again, more of what this project is about as well. So yeah, much love and thank you again to everyone for being involved with this. And again, of course, inviting you guys to continue to think about the ways of how you can be involved, be it through the creation of conscious media, through the creation of physical paradigm shift communities, lots of other exciting stuff. So let's pass the microphone around, pass the talking stick around, and I think Wisdom Lover is here. And okay, sorry, for the Patreon, I'll post a link into the YouTube again, patreon.com/Brendon Culliton. Thumbs up. Thank you guys. So for Wisdom Lover, yeah, we'll pass the talking stick over to you. So Wisdom Lover, if you're there, welcome back to the broadcast, and please feel free to just introduce yourself, your name, where you are currently, and what you are doing to help assist with the shift. So Wisdom Lover, if you're there, we'll give you a second to unmute yourself, and please feel free to jump in. I think Wisdom Lover may not officially be there. So, oh, there they are. Okay, cool. Sweet. All right. Hey, man. Welcome back. Keeping it shifty. You know how it is.
Never change. Never. Always developing, never changing.
Awesome, man. Well, we'll pass the talking stick over to you. So please.
So I don't know, man. I don't really have much to say. I mean, at the moment, except the fact that I feel lucky to be part of this talk after a long time of not seeing you, and it's unfortunate that my time zones don't really work out with your time zones, but I'm always thinking of you and always paying attention. And you know, I got a lot of stuff I'm working on. You've always been an inspiration. What was this? This voice chat you were talking about when you said you kept talking on the voice chat. Are you talking about like a Google Hangout voice chat or?
Let me show you real quick. So I'm just gonna do a quick screen share just for yourself and anybody else looking to use the voice chat. So just give me 1 second. Just going to
Sure,
switch this
of
over
course.
for the screen share. Okay, so I'm just loading up a screen share for those of you who are listening on the audio of this on just Blog Talk. No worries, it's still pretty obvious how it works. So on the website, again, so this is actually the page for the broadcast right now. You have a bunch of buttons on the website. You have your buttons at the top, which are your Paradigm Shift Central TV, new videos, radio, vote, Quest Journal, Central News, conscious articles, and shift missions. Down at the bottom, those are more kind of like your immediate interactive buttons. So one of them is the voice chat. So if you click the voice chat there, then that will open up the pop-up window, and then that will load up. And then from there, you can literally just click connect. And so if you click connect, it will open up into a new window. And I'm just going to do that real quick so I can show you guys exactly what it looks like. And then from there, it's pretty straightforward, and it just leads you through the voice chat is known as Discord. And Discord is actually like a voice chat application that is used for video games primarily. So again, that's what we're doing. This is a video game. This is about leveling up our characters and creating conscious media and everything like that. And so this isn't loading right now. Okay, no, it did just load. Okay, so then from there, you click accept invitation, install anything if you need to. But again, in addition to setting it up on your desktop, I highly recommend people set it up on their mobile devices as well. So yeah,
So
I'll
what
stop
you're
screen
saying
share.
is that after because like sometimes typically we would continue hanging out on the Google Hangout, right? So you're saying now you've got that app on the actual website where you can switch over to that and continue hanging out there.
Yeah, very, very similar to back in the day. We used to have like our after party hangouts, which, you know, we would do broadcasts and then people would just continue talking. Similar thing. So yeah, like in addition to this, the after party or the after brainstorming session can continue in the voice chat. But in addition, it can also be used during our work periods and anytime during the week when people just want to jump on and get involved and stuff. So
right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to see lots of developments, man. Like just through my own work, building my own website and trying to build my own content and put things out there. I know how much effort it takes, and you know, for you to be able, you know, I'm like a broken record every time I talk to you. So it's like you already know what I'm going to say, but I guess for those new people out there, I'll just sort of go ahead and repeat it. For you to build, you know, what you've built, and to come to this point now where you can sort of begin to make it self-sustainable, right? And spend full time on it without having to worry about money per se. It's a beautiful thing, and I see developments. And you know, I happen to have vacation at the moment. I'm on term break in the middle of Cambodia, and I woke up this morning. It's really interesting. I had a really rough night of sleep, and took a lot of drugs, like pharmaceuticals, not like actual drugs I'd want to take that would be helpful, but like pharmaceuticals to try to like help me get through the sickness, like through cold and sneezing and sniffling and all that kind of stuff. And I woke up finally after just getting just a couple hours of sleep, and I saw Ashley Munoz's invitation to the group hangout, and I was like, I did a quick check on the Eastern Daylight Time, and I was like, oh my God, I'm finally going to be awake for a group hangout. And I was like, man, I cannot wait to say hello. So, hello.
Aloha.
And,
awesome.
you know, I'll try to talk to you a little bit more about what I'm developing and going through as we go along here. But just sitting here listening for the last few moments on all the great developments that you've been doing on your website and that everyone else, I mean, has been doing through your network. I am definitely, I haven't forgotten about you, and you know, we're like two peas in a pod, brother. Simple as that.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm equally as excited to be able to see you back here again. I feel it's been a while, but it doesn't feel like very long. So welcome back, brother. Awesome. Well, guys, let's just kind of like shift gears here because I want to be able to invite us into a bit of a game, actually, where it's a bit of a brainstorming exercise to be able to think about kind of the micro and the macro of what it is that we are actually doing within this project, while encouraging you guys to kind of think and get the gears rolling for yourself.
Is there a winner?
In the game?
Yeah,
We're all winners.
We're all winners, man. Everyone gets a trophy
by playing. Yeah, totally. Okay, so again, you know, like, and thank you, Wisdom Lover, again for recognizing again, you know, the work that's going into this and stuff. Moving forward, though, like, let's continue to look at like what the bigger picture is, and so what I want to be able to do is invite us to be able to not just think about this project, but think about like the bigger shift in general. And what we're going to do, we're going to keep the microphones relatively open. So we're inviting you guys to kind of jump in on this, and even people in the live chat, you can kind of join in on this as well. But this is kind of a little exercise where what we do is we create a statement. And from there, we add on so that ... onto the end of it. So for example, I'll begin this, and this is the beginning right here, and it will naturally make sense as we continue to do it. So let's start right here. So we are building conscious community so that ... And if somebody wants to jump in now, please feel free to do that. Maybe either Forrest wants to jump in or anything like that. So
that we can make millions of dollars.
Okay, let's play with that. Okay,
and
so that ... Okay, so we are building conscious community so that ... we can make millions of dollars. This is just an example, right?
Oh, and build a sky castle.
Oh, I like that.
So that we can build a sky castle, floating city in the sky.
City, yeah. That's the dream. The $1 trillion dream. For some reason, I get $1 trillion.
Okay, so
that we can look from that sky castle down on all of the people.
Pretty much.
Okay, so let's
feeling a little crazy. Everybody's gonna walk in.
So we went really far there, really fast. So that was like we literally went from where we are now to like probably maybe at least 5 years in the future. I don't know. I'm being optimistic here. Let's rewind it again. I'll pass it to Forrest because I'll let him jump in. Okay.
Did that make it too confusing?
No, it's good. It's all practice, man. Okay,
so it's messing around.
Let me see. Okay, good. All right. Okay, so Forrest, I'm going to pass it over to you. We are building conscious community so that ...
So that the people in the world can find world peace through inner peace.
Okay, and then I'll add on to that. So that people will have the personal freedom to explore their passions. ... So that... Somebody jump in. Forrest, you can go again too. You can go back.
Where did we make it to? I had to leave for a second. Oh. Where are we at?
We're building conscious community so that we can create world peace, so that people can have the freedom to explore their passions. So that ...
So that everybody can become fully spiritually realized.
So that the universe can become what it was ultimately meant to become.
So that we can celebrate in our awakenedness.
And be happy.
And be happy.
So that we can be happy.
Okay.
So that in that happiness, anyone who is ever blocked will be able to be shown the way so that they too can become happy.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to. That's why we need that sky castle. A lot of people don't want to. They like gotta get far away from them.
Yeah, man, I like how you brought it back to the sky castle.
Told you sky castles at the end of the road.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Space
So
castle. I don't know.
okay, so let's see. So that we can help transmute the darkness. ... So that
What'd you say? Transmute or transmit? What'd you say?
Transmute the darkness.
Transmute. Okay.
So that less people keep getting consumed by it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or hypnotized by it. Hmm.
And so that they stop voting for ignorant people in positions of power, and that we might actually one day bring the whole planet back to what we were talking about just a moment ago, like world peace, world harmony, world unity.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to go off this into the comments. Maxie is saying, so that people can come to realize their sovereign power and inalienable rights. So yeah, and it was interesting because that was probably going to be the next thing I was going to say about like reclaiming our sovereignty and stuff. So yeah. So again, so I mean, let's put it on pause, put the brakes on, and again, Jerk 70, they said so that we can change the world through music as well. So oh, and Maxie also said so that we can communicate telepathically like a boss. I like that one, like a boss, right? I'm thinking like a boss in a video game or something like that, like Mother Brain.
What live chat are you looking at on the website? On the paradigm?
That's the YouTube. The live chat on the main website probably isn't super active right now. The most active live chat is just on the YouTube right now.
On the YouTube. Oh, I see. I get you.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, so again, guys, so let's take a step back. Okay, so again, let's just try this again. Let's just sort of get the balls rolling again. So and it's funny because almost anywhere we start seems to kind of go towards this single center point. It's not like we're just like going in random directions. It's almost as if like, there's this center point and then there's multiple gates in which we return back to it. So, we're kind of coming in and we're kind of learning what these gates are by exploring this process. But again, ultimately it seems that the gate is, like world peace, saving the world and stuff like that, and making the world a better place. Okay, so starting off at a micro concept. Okay, we are creating conscious media as a team so that ... Forrest, I'll pass it to you.
So that those interested in exploring more can meet with what has been created for them.
Mm-hmm.
So that,
go ahead.
So that also on top of that, so that people don't think that the journey to know thyself is some unobtainable reality, that it's actually right in front of you at all times.
I like that. Right. Yeah. So that we can make, kind of reiterating what you just said, so that we can make spirituality more accessible and common, perhaps.
So that it's more natural to be living as a spiritual being.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that we're not the ones being made fun of for walking around talking about these deep spiritual concepts, but rather those other people who are not giving away free hugs are the ones who need a little bit of help and guidance.
Mm-hmm. And so that we can be there as active, so that we can be there in active service to hold space with those people when they are ready.
Seva. Right? Seva. Right?
Seva?
Service. Seva, service, right?
Service.
Like the Hindu idea of service, right? Like so that we are in service to them.
I dig it. Okay. So, okay. So that, okay, I'm going to take things a little bit further, so that we can help introduce more more habits of compassion within culture. Forrest?
So that we can do what we really want to do and not feel like someone else is limiting us or that someone else controls our success.
So that we can find beauty and joy in every moment.
So that every moment alive can be lived as a dream.
A profound, so that it can be not just a dream, but a profound dream that has specific implications upon every moment of our existence.
So that what we do today ripples into future generations.
So that in 2,000 years from now, when people look back, they recognize that they have the same questions that we did. What is the self? What is the nature of the cosmos? Who are we? Where are we going? Not only as an individual, but as a species, so that we really are connected throughout all of time.
So that we realize that time moves in cycles.
I'm just kind of caught up on the idea of thinking about how someone in 2,000 years from now is still going to be pondering the same things we're pondering today. Like, I think that's just like a really magical.
Exactly the
right?
truth, right? I mean, it's,
if you come into this physical incarnation, you come in with a plethora of like mysteries to play with, you know. So that
think about the Egyptians, right? Think about the ancient Greece, right? I mean, think about any mystic ever. 5,000, 6,000, you know, however, how far back you want to go. I just got done doing another reaction video where I luckily found some guy interviewed my guru for a few moments. And he was talking about the question hasn't changed. What is the self? And when you hang on to that question, you become part of that wisdom tradition that traces itself back through Tibetan lineage, Platonic lineage, Egyptian lineage. I mean, all of the spiritual traditions. You know, it doesn't matter which way you want to go. You want to go ayahuasca, go towards, you know, South America. You want to go sort of peyote, go back towards North American, indigenous. You could talk about like Wicca. You could talk about all kinds of different things. But whichever direction you want to go, it's one goal, so that we can awaken the self and know thyself.
So that we can have a greater perspective of the universal body we are all a part of.
So that we can more effectively help heal the planet and set better examples of awareness to our environments.
And so that we can gain power through that collective consciousness, because there's a lot of people out there that have no interest in that, and they have power and money to stop it.
So that this beautiful experience of a human lifetime can continue to be experienced in a beautiful way.
So that we can appreciate the silence and the stillness with peace.
And so that Alan Watts can make lectures called Why Apple Trees Grow Apples.
So that through our own self-awareness, we can invite others to listen to and be a part of magnificent, fantastical stories, journeys, and adventures.
And so that we can speak about these topics from personal experience and from personal experimentation to understand what's true and what is merely something we've been told our entire lives.
Right, so that we can dissolve the illusions, and so that we can pierce the veils of perception.
Yeah, and so that through piercing those veils of perception, well, this is where it comes full circle again. We can know thyself. I feel like this so what game's always going to come back to the same thing.
There's definitely, again, that's that center point, right? So
right.
Okay, so let's just take a second, right? Because again, we're looking at a lot of the micro here, and I think you guys did a great job. And again, shout out to people in the YouTube chat. We had a couple other comments in there. So that you can write your own mind for appeasement, is what Last Chance said. Not sure exactly what point that was, but that's cool too. But yeah, okay, so let's just kind of, again, we're looking at a bit of the micro and everything here, right? So like within this Paradigm Shift Central project, for me, its effectiveness has been in the simplicity of it, and I think like that is kind of what we want to be able to focus on as creators. It's when you get sometimes, not every time, when you get very intricate and complicated and convoluted, you have sometimes the message and the communication gets lost, and sometimes it's hard to sort of coordinate things and synchronize things in that sense. Like it's almost as if if you're trying to like teach an orchestra and everything, it's important to have a good conductor. And sometimes, as complicated as the orchestra can be, the simplicity of it comes from the fact that everyone is following the same chronological story of the music, and the conductor is helping bring people into that moment when those events are happening and everything like that. If everyone was like, can you make a song if everyone's playing their own music simultaneously? Yes, it can happen. It's called freestyling and everything, but it can be different. It can be challenging. But again, within the Paradigm Shift Central project, we are creating digital sacred space so that we can come together and build as a team, so that we can establish connections. I'm kind of taking this macro really quick, so that we can unfold within this narrative of like this bigger narrative of this soul family reunion, which is very much kind of what this is. Everyone who kind of comes into this project in some way or another, whether they're fully aware with it, would have had some sort of like agreement within our like higher perspective of existence, where they would have been like, hey Brendon, I'll be sure to sync up with you when I'm like in my 20s or something and find you on the internet or something like that. So it's again, we're creating this project so that we can find each other,
so that everybody understands, even though we have the micro, which is understanding the self, the sort of personal, but the inner self, we also know thy outer self, which is the macro, coming to understand that you are also part of a greater whole and a greater group, of which everything comes together in a connected unity. So you have the one and the many and the many and the one. That's the macro and the micro. And to fully understand that, well, that goes back to something I've often talked about, Vamasi, right? Thou art that, right? Brahman is Atman, Atman is Brahman, right? When you see that the self is no different than the ultimate nature of reality, and the ultimate nature of reality is no different than the self. So to bring it back to the macro, as you're saying, we're helping people on individual journeys, but it's through a macro collection that we're able to sort of have a group that fosters that environment, that allows that to happen, so that Brendon can become rich
and build a sky castle.
And build a sky castle.
Yeah.
It was a specific kind of sky castle.
A crystal sky castle.
Yes, definitely crystal sky castle. Flying.
That can go invisible and is actually already in the sky, but it's just it's from the future. So
it's sitting in another dimension. It's like waiting on us in another dimension. We have to like align our frequency to.
Dude, I'm already there, man. I'm waiting in the living room for you guys, dude.
I'll relate to this, guys, and again, you know, we can kind of get into just seeing wherever the conversation takes us, and this is just practice at this point. We're just kind of practicing talking and everything, but at the same time, let's just make sure we're not talking over each other as much as we get excited. I'm guilty of it too, but you know, this is just an idea, and I just want to put this out here, so we'll just kind of take a break from the game. I like the idea that maybe Atlantis actually was like a floating city. And that's why, like, we get this idea of like, where did it go? Like, maybe it was like a continent that just kind of like flew away. And then he gets into the idea that like Atlantis could just be hidden somewhere. And like, that's actually, this is
like Antarctica.
Yeah, it could be hidden in Antarctica. And this is where I got into like some ideas. I'm like, you know, like maybe that's where like a lot of the Watchers are right now. And a version of Middle Earth, but maybe this is like where the UFOs are like going to and coming from, is, you know, Hollow Earth, Atlantis, hidden sky cities. I like, they intrigue me, and they create an interesting narrative that, as crazy as it sounds, is not out of the realms of possibility, considering how psychedelic this reality actually is.
So, have you read any of Graham Hancock's books, Fingerprints of the Gods?
I haven't read them, but is there something specific?
Oh, it's fascinating. I mean, he's a guy who, this is his career, is searching for the lost civilization. And I mean, it's, you know, his books, The Fingerprints of the Gods, have sold like 15, you know, plus million copies of books. You know, he's working with more and more doctors and, you know, more geologists, very official people who have gone down the academic path and who are, you know, finding even just small ways to confirm how his narrative could be even more, you know, precise. Like Dr. Robert Schoch, who, you know, was speaking about how the enclosure of the Sphinx is weathered in a different way than the other parts of Egypt around it. And it's weathered in a way where it sort of indicates a lot of rainfall, like thousands of years of rainfall. But the only way that could have happened was that, you know, Egypt, being the desert that it is now, was at one point in time not a desert, that it was at one point in time a fertile land and capable.
And that's John Anthony West as well, right?
Yes. You know, I actually have a book autographed by John Anthony West being sent to me right now, you know, because you know, he actually has cancer right now, and they set up like a GoFundMe page or something to help pay for some of the treatments, and I made a donation to it, and so they were, you know, very kind enough to send me an autographed copy of his book.
Wow,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I highly recommend, if you guys want, you know, some absolutely mind-blowing some history lessons. I can tell you, you know, it's becoming more and more backed by science. So research Graham Hancock.
I think a lot of people, I don't know if this is maybe just overstepping the bounds a little bit, but I have a feeling that most people that listen to this channel and most people that listen to or that are involved in Paradigm Shift in any way understand people like Graham Hancock, people like Wim Hof, people like John Anthony West, these sort of like forbidden archaeology type thing. But before I forget, I just want to say that, Brendon, I know you were talking to me when you said be careful of not speaking over each other, because I get excited.
Probably all do.
I honestly wasn't, but I'm glad you heard it. I mean, before we even got into it for any of us. So, okay, guys. Real quick, before we get into things, and we do actually have a new player who recently joined the Hangout. It's 11:11 on my clock right now. So let's literally just take a moment here to meditate and just go into like a moment of oneness. And then from there, we will return to this broadcast. So hold on. I just got to blow my nose real quick. So I'm going to mute my mic, and then I'm just going to come back in half a second. But I invite you guys to get comfortable real quick. Okay. All right. So again, 11:11 on the clock. Let's just use this as an invitation to just allow ourselves to connect with our stillness, with our breath. And without even having to say much, just literally go into your own silence, connect with your stillness, connect with your breath, just be in your own place of oneness, subconsciously, hyperconsciously connected with the whole team in this moment. So just breathe, take about 3 or 4 breaths here, and we'll come back. Go ahead. So just continue to connect with your breath. Just connect with the peace in this moment. Just letting go of any thoughts of yesterday or tomorrow and just being here, present in this now. I just invite you, just before we segue out of this, to just gently, all of us, if you choose to, put your hands on your chest, put your hands on your heart. Just keep your eyes closed and just feel your own heartbeat. But feel your heartbeat not just as your own. Feel it as the heartbeat of everyone. Feel it as the heartbeat of the collective, of all the other shifters out there. Even in your mind right now, just visualizing the grid that we create around the world. Each one of us, a point of light, a beacon of light, connecting, creating this light grid across the entire world. And as we breathe into our heart, we breathe light into this entire grid. So just take another couple breaths here, breathing into your heart with light, and just breathing into this visualization. And gently from here, just continuing to be present with the awareness of your breath. Slowly begin to transition yourself back to the space around you. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Awesome. Sweet. All
It
right.
was a great guided meditation.
Thanks, Forrest. Super simple, but I think that sometimes a great meditation is very minimal, because I think the meditation isn't just about like the complexity of the visualization, but it's more so just about creating the space to allow it to happen in the first place, right? Like sometimes people will like, they almost need to go to a meditation class just so someone else can just tell them, sit down and just be here, right? Like they almost need someone else to say that, because until someone else tells us to do that, oftentimes we don't do it for ourselves. But I invite people to try and find the time to be able to do that. And yeah, Forrest, just talking about meditation for a second, is there anything you just kind of want to share on meditation in general, or how people can get in the habit of it?
Oh yeah, well, totally. I think one of the greatest misconceptions about meditation is someone will say I can't quiet my mind, and because of that I know I won't be able to meditate, or I can't sit still for a long period of time, so I know that I won't be able to meditate. But I am an example of someone who completely shatters that whole idea, because I was actually somebody who was diagnosed with ADHD. I was diagnosed when I was 7 and when I was 17. And later, towards, like once I turned 19, I was being prescribed Adderall 3 times a day. So a doctor assumed that, that I was somebody so special that I deserved to constantly be drugged up and, to barely ever be sober. Okay. And I began to realize, that all those pills, they weren't doing anything magic. They weren't allowing me, to do something that I couldn't already do. So I just began practicing meditation, and I began just doing it, putting myself in, the best circumstances that I could possibly be in. And so I created, a sort of a guide, 3 effective tips that I give to people who are new to meditation, so that, if you think you're somebody who can't sit still and meditate, for 20 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, whatever, I can tell you, really quick, the 3 things. Number 1, just get in as calm and as relaxing an environment as you can possibly be in. And, for most people, that's probably not going to be your bedroom, because, most of our bedrooms, we have things that we're doing. We collect a lot of things, or, we work on our projects in our bedrooms or whatever. So I would just seek maybe somewhere like a meditation center. Most of them are free. We don't charge at our meditation center. We take in absolutely anybody, and we teach them meditation, and you can come in. We actually even give them free food. So it's, we totally, are open to helping people, and I'm sure there are other meditation centers out like that as well. Tip number 2 is just to listen to guided meditations like what we just did. Like, don't try to do it all on your own. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. There are people who have made this their career paths, like monks. That's all they do. They wake up, meditate, they eat lunch, meditate, and then go to sleep and meditate. They do it all day long. And they are some great teachers to learn from. So guided meditations, just have somebody, metaphorically speaking, take you by the hand and guide you through the process. And tip number 3 is to simply track your results. Like, maybe, write in a journal, like, what your experience was like. And after you've written about your experience, write about all of the small things that you did that gave you that experience. So maybe you did a particular type of stretching before meditation, or maybe you didn't stretch at all. So you can make that distinguishment, make that clear, the difference that you made from one meditation to the next. You may have, not stretched, and then maybe the next time you did yoga, and you'll find out that it's a completely different experience. So continuing to build upon what you can feel is working is the key to it. There's no one perfect way to do it. There's just all different types of ways that you can practice. So it's really just about finding what works best for you. And you know, anybody can do it. I'm an example of somebody who I was told, you know, you need pills, you need to be prescribed all the time. And I completely shattered that idea. I take absolutely no prescription medications now. One day I was taking Adderall 3 times a day. Now, the next following day, I completely cut it off cold turkey. And since that day, I've not taken a single prescription medication.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations on again just being an example of what the human consciousness is capable of. And yeah, I think it's important with meditation is that it may not always be quote unquote enjoyable, but I think it can be once you sort of begin to fall in love with the results of it. And then that's kind of why you do it. You know, it's the same thing with exercise. It's hard to get up and exercise at 5 a.m. in the morning, but then once you're done it feels great. And then you again, you know, fall in love with the results in a sense, as much as it is about the process as well. And I'll just say this and I'll pass it to Wisdom Lover in a second. I really like just the emphasis of like how much a meditation can change if we have done like stretching going into it ahead of time. I think a lot of people probably forget about that. So, you know, quick tip, if anybody's like looking to meditate and stuff, take like 5 minutes, just do a little bit of stretching and even just like making stretching a part of that meditation. You know, turn on some nice ambient music that you enjoy, take 5 minutes, and it's really about self-care. You know, it's like, if you have like a fancy car and everything like that, if you love your car from a materialistic point of view, then it's important to take time to clean it and to upkeep it and to pay attention to the engine. It's the exact same thing with our body. Our body is our car. And that's the thing, you know, don't mistake yourself for your car. You're actually the driver inside. Don't mistake yourself for your body. You're actually the soul inside. As much as you are still your body, you're the inhabitant of it, the driver of it. But again, you know, I think it's important to just like realize like how far meditation can go. You know, a 5-minute meditation in the morning can affect your entire day. Yoga once a day can affect your entire life. So, you know, I'm saying this because this is a reminder for myself as well, because I'm not always an expert on meditating. Usually my meditation will often come through me being physically outside in nature while exercising at the same time. That's usually when I kind of like really get into meditating. But yeah, to like do it in my room recently hasn't fully happened so much. After this broadcast, I'd like to develop a habit of it. And again, you know, let that be a habit that we can all develop, and let that be a habit that can actually lead into future broadcasts where, you know, dream class and everything. And we're talking about how it's all integrated. Wisdom Lover, go ahead. Let me just check your mic real quick. I think you're muted on your end.
Yeah. You're good. Sorry. Yeah. Look, man, I can be long-winded, so just tell me when to be quiet. There's a couple things to say. This word meditation, it gets thrown around a lot, especially like the word yoga, when a lot of people don't have a true understanding of like what it is or what it isn't. And you know, just Forrest, that's your name, Forrest, right? That he was talking about a lot of great things. And I just want to make a clear distinction. Again, you know, we have certain types of meditation where we sit, right? Where we concentrate. And well, all meditation is concentration, but there's some where you sit and there's some where you don't. And so, like, I also have been one of those people where I've always been more towards the karma yoga side in the Bhagavad Gita as I've been towards the hatha raja yoga side. In other words, like I'll sit for, you know, 30 minutes, and when I stand up and I'm done meditating, I'm not done meditating. I will continue that through 24/7. But most of my true meditation happens when my body is actively moving, but my mind is completely focused. And so I just want to make sure that some people understand that, like, don't get meditation confused with sitting down and being still. right? Meditation is a one-pointed, one-focused mind activity. And sometimes it's things like that that get me caught up when I'm talking about these things, because sometimes they seem like people, sometimes they seem like, oh, it's semantics. But this is a very important logos, very important words that we're talking about. Like, you can see one of my favorite Zen koans, or monk koans, as it were, and I'll leave it after this because I have so much more to say. Is there was two monks crossing a river, and there was a lady stuck on one side. Right, I'm sure this is such a common one. Everyone's already heard it, but I'll say it again just for the fun of it. Two monks on one side of the river, and there's a lady stuck on one side. And of course, they're supposed to have no contact, and they're monks, they're aesthetics. And he says, go ahead, get on my shoulders, I'll carry you across. And he carries her across, and he drops her off, and the two monks are walking along. And 2.31 miles later, I was trying to throw out a Fibonacci sequence number there, but it didn't quite come out. A few miles later, the one monk says to the other monk, how could you do that? How could you let that woman touch you? How could you carry her across the river? Like, that's like totally against all of our precepts. And the one monk says to the other monk, he says, oh, you're talking about that woman that I was carrying on my back. You're still carrying her. I let her off over back there at the river. And it's like, done. That's why I don't like to get confused about these ideas of yoga and meditation. It's like, you can awaken in many ways. You can do yoga in many ways. You can do meditation in many ways. And I do appreciate what Forrest did say towards the beginning about, like, sit down and meditate on a busy corner. It's like you going out and giving free hugs. I mean, there's no real difference. We're both expanding the sort of cosmic consciousness, as it were, and helping bring the planet together, doing it in a couple different ways, but doing it in a very real and profound way. And I've always been one of those people where I don't get up at 5 a.m. and sit for an hour and a half. Like, I'm not Theravada Buddhism. And I've had friends who have said, like, oh, if you're not up at 5 a.m. sitting, like, you're not doing it. You're not really into it. Like, you're not into the practice. Like, you don't really get it. And I'm like, bro, I've studied with the guru for 22 years, and you're just now getting into it. And like, you want to tell me what is and what isn't meditation, what is and what isn't yoga? Just read the classics. Read like the Bhagavad Gita, well, I won't go through the list now, but the point is that there's many different ways. One of my favorite things Muji said when I was on in the Himalayan mountains before I had to leave was, there's many ways to the mountaintop. And when you get to the top of the mountain, you can look down and you can see all the pathways that everybody took to get up to that top. It wasn't the pathway you took. You can see the pathway you took, but now you see the pathway everybody else took. So now you can go down those different pathways and sort of walk in their footsteps. And that even helps heighten your awareness, because you can see and learn all those different methods. But it takes nothing away from the method that allowed you to get to the top of the mountain, to take a look around and see that you're in the same place that everybody else is.
I dig it. Awesome. Thank you, Samana. Sweet. I just want to open it up if anybody else want to reply to that. After that, we're just going to kind of segue into a couple more things. Give our new friend a chance to introduce themselves, and also do a tarot card reading, and then we'll wrap up the broadcast. Does anybody have a response to that, Forrest, or anyone?
By the way, before we leave, I do actually have one small meditation I would like to give to us at the end before we leave, like maybe before or after the tarot card reading, however you want to do it. But just, it's from my guru. It's important
Sure.
to me, and it's the one thing I would like to share. So later
Absolutely.
on.
Perfect. Sounds good. Sweet. All right. Does anybody else want to expand on anything that we've talked about in this moment? I mean, we'll always get a chance to go back to these topics. You know, meditation is a very fundamental core aspect. So that's cool. Okay. All right. Let's just take a moment here. We did have a new player who joined the game. I want to say George or Jorge. I'm not 100% sure on how you pronounce your name, but if you would like to unmute yourself, please feel free to test your microphone and say hello.
Yeah. Hello, you hear me?
I think so. You want to try again? Say hello.
You hear me?
Yeah. Okay. That sounds okay. All right. Well, welcome to the Hangout, man. Please, pleasure to have you here.
Hey, what's up? I'm Jorge
Awesome.
from Mexico. And I'm in Canada right now. I think I messaged you, Brendon, for like more awakened people. Yeah, it's great to be like here with you guys and see what can we do together.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Whereabouts in Canada are you?
I'm in Toronto right now.
Okay. So
I
wait.
stayed here just for the summer.
Oh, okay. We didn't run into each other at the Solstice Festival, though, did we?
No.
No. Okay.
No,
Cool.
I have 2 weeks here, and I have been taking an English course.
Oh, okay. Cool, man. Yeah, so within the earlier part of the broadcast, when we were just doing introductions, we were just talking about like just our names, who we are, where we're from, and then like what we are doing to help assist with the shift. Is there anything within that you would like to share, like how you feel that you're helping assist with the shift, be it even just through personal self-development and exploration in that point, or any topics that maybe you're particularly learning
Yeah,
about or interested in? Go
yes,
ahead.
of course. Well, first of all, I'm barely new to this paradigm shift community. I joined it like 1 week ago, 1 week ago actually. I saw your videos on YouTube. My story is pretty interesting because I don't know, I've been awakened for like 1.5 years, maybe 2 years at maximum. My story was very crazy. I did everything by myself. I don't know. I didn't read anything. Nobody told me anything. Just by myself, I started to realize things. I started to have like a lot of ideas, a lot of new discoveries for me because I didn't know there was more people like me. At the beginning, I thought I was alone. I thought I was kind of a Christ, Jesus Christ, or a Messias. Because I thought I was alone, man. I didn't know anyone like me. Like I thought everyone was living their own life, like the Matrix. So uh, I had a major event, which they call it. My neurologist called it like a crisis. I went like kind of breaking all the society's paradigms. I took off my clothes and stuff. I just started to walk on the streets without clothes. And after that, they started to medicate me, and I got depressed because of the pills and the medicines and all of that. And it took me a while to recover from that, like 6 months or 7 months, and then I started to be more conscious about myself. And someone introduced me to meditation, some friend that I don't see too much, but I don't know, like uh, we are all connected, and there's a reason you meet people, and there's a reason for the things that happen to you. And well, for me, after he came to my house and told me about meditation, my life started to change again. So I had another crisis, like after that, another event similar to the other one. Like again, took off my clothes and started to think about a lot of stuff. Actually, I started to write my ideas, and after that, I realized that there was a lot of people talking about the same ideas I had, like on the internet, like spiritual guides and stuff. And I didn't know any of that kind of stuff, like ascension and duality and all other stuff. I feel like if someone was telling me that stuff. And yeah, well, after that, I had another event, like after some months, And since then, I'm more stable right now. You know, now I am more conscious about the metrics and more conscious about the flowing with the system, but at the same time not being part of it, like playing the game. You know, that's what I like this community, because it's more like a game, and that's how I really see it. You just playing the game. You choose your role, and within the matrix you do something to change it. You know, uh, I'm not doing anything particular yet, but I plan a lot of things. I had a lot of plans for the future, and one of the first things, or the most important things I wanted to do at the beginning, is like know more people, because I need to grow. You know, if I am by myself, I won't ever grow. I have the internet, and that's how I found you. I found your videos because as I told you, I thought I was alone at the beginning, and thanks to the internet, I started to search and look the thoughts I had, the ideas I had, and I started to see that there was a lot of people like me, and that's how I saw one of your videos like 8 months ago. And when I arrived to Canada, I remembered about you, so I searched for the paradigm shift stuff, and here we are. I'm a musician, and I like to compose music. I have some songs on YouTube. I plan to use my music as a tool to do like shifts. I like to write poems, write my own ideas. And I am also a software developer, and I think that that's a tool to do something, because everyone has one of these right now. So it's a great way to get to other people. So I think that's about it. I'm 22 years old.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, man. It was nice just to be able to listen to your story. You know, even just within that brief introduction, it's just like, all right, like now we know each other, which is like awesome and stuff like that. So
yeah.
Welcome to the team, man. Happy
and
to
thank
have
you for building this community. And I know that there's a reason to me for being here.
For sure, man. And yeah, and I mean, it was interesting just like listening to you talk, because you were kind of like, you know, you were saying you're like, I'm not really doing too much, and then like 1 minute later you're just like, but I'm a musician and I'm into software development and I have a lot of ideas and stuff like that. So
yeah, but I'm not doing anything like serious, you know.
Word. But like it's good though, because you've already like acknowledged that you do have like the skill sets and the possible like directions and stuff like that. So yeah, man, like, you know, again, if you heard us talking within the beginning of the project, you know, like there's the music team and, you know, like the mobile app team and stuff like that. I'd love to be able to brainstorm with you on you know, ideas of like how we can incorporate what you already have into those aspects of the team and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you, man. Hello to everyone too.
That's awesome. And I just kind of wanted to take a moment here, because Jorge, you mentioned you're in Toronto, and I know there's going to be, you know, like a bunch of people who are in Toronto as well who listen to this broadcast. For those of you who aren't familiar, I just wanted to recommend a great resource within Toronto. So as we know, there's multiple Paradigm Shift communities across the globe. Paradigm Shift London, Ontario, Canada, where I am. There's, you know, Paradigm Shift like Edmonton, and, you know, they're all over the place. And there is a Paradigm Shift Toronto. And again, if you just Facebook this, Paradigm Shift Toronto, it comes up. The events for Paradigm Shift Toronto at this point are within Paradigm Shift Toronto. It's not like super active. Like we're still kind of like waiting for an admin to kind of like really help initiate specific Paradigm Shift events. But what there is, and this is basically what I'm doing, I'm just resharing events. There are a lot of other events happening in Toronto. In particular, there's a place called Alternity Cafe, which if anybody's in Toronto, I recommend you guys checking that out, and just check on the Facebook page for Alternity. And you
about this shirt there and the alternative thinking.
Sweet, yeah, alternative thinking and stuff. And I was gonna say it looks like an alternative thinking shirt. So alternative thinking is like a conscious like store that has a lot of clothing and stuff, but they recently opened up a cafe which is in a different location, and again, it's called Alternity Cafe, ALT ALTERNITY, Alternity, and they have regular ongoing events there. So either look up Paradigm Shift Toronto and you'll see some of the events shared through there, or just look up Alternity Cafe. But again, like we had a Paradigm Shift meeting back there in the summer, and or back a while ago at least. I guess we're in the summer now or whatever. I don't know. What year is this? Anyways, but yeah, I just wanted to recommend that for anybody in Toronto to check that out, because it's they have a lot that plus a lot of other stuff. And shout out to a lot of the other people in Toronto doing things. Like people like Darren Austin Hall, he's doing a lot of like sound healing stuff. There's so many people in Toronto, and I look forward to being able to like spend more time in Toronto when I have the opportunity to do so. So even Jorge and anybody else, we might, when I'm down there, I'll let you guys know, and we can possibly organize a meetup as well, and have a little Paradigm Shift get together. So
what about India, dude? Can we not fucking plan a trip in India? Are you ready or not, or what?
It's once we like continue to build things up, eventually, this is an idea that we haven't talked about too much, but there is this idea of like the Paradigm Shift Love Tour, which again, like that seed was planted like years ago. But again, now it's like building the Patreon, building the support, getting things in motion and stuff like that.
Fair enough. But eventually, if you can make your way over to Lucidity, you can make your way over to Himalayan.
Oh yeah, and now that like Lucidity has concluded, like maybe this time in April next year, maybe I'll be traveling somewhere else. It is my intention to be able to travel and to like document it and to meet a lot of the amazing people who are already a part of this community, and to help like kickstart Paradigm Shift communities where we go, and to have events and live broadcasts and communities and stuff. It'll be super awesome, guys. So
one question I would say, ironically enough, is that this always kind of bugs me a little bit. I mean, on one level, there should be no competition, right? There's no competition. We're all striving for the same goal: spiritual realization, spiritual enlightenment, however you want to call it, third eye awakening, waking up, however you want to categorize it. Just listening to a video the other night, Satori came up, right? Satori is a very key word within Zen Buddhism. Nirvana, of course, means the extinguishing of a fire, which is the ultimate term in Buddhism itself. You got the one and the good in Platonic metaphysics, but also the self. And so that's what my reaction video is to my next reaction video. So let me tell you this. I did a reaction video to, I'm just getting new at this stuff. You have a long way ahead of me. I'm just getting started. My website's simple. My editing and my audio is all simple, although I am learning a lot. But I have put up, 6 or 7 videos, most of them dealing with philosophy, and of course my mom, dealing with dying in my arms of cancer when I came back from India. But I put up one video, the Mandy Harvey reaction video. That was the deaf girl who sang on America's Got Talent and got the golden buzzer from Simon. I got 1,400 views off of that video within a week. I got more subscribers and more comments than on anything else. Why did people care about that, and they don't care about like videos where I'm actually talking about wisdom and the meaning of life and the meaning of death, etc.? Well, it's partly because of this pop culture we have. It's like people are watching America's Got Talent, right? They're looking for inspiration. Okay, they find this reaction video. It gives them a little bit of inspiration. They watch it. They leave a nice comment. Everyone feels good. It's great. No problem. I finally did another reaction video, but actually to my guru, trying to get more back to my wisdom roots but then of course I did another popular video after that, and I'm going to put them both up at the same time. And I know one's going to get more hits than the other, because nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares about wisdom. People care about America's Got Talent and Britain's Got Talent. Though they just love to see these, golden buzzers, or, people fail or do whatever. So when I put both of them up, I know which one's going to do well. But the one that matters is the one that deals with the true wisdom in my guru, which, by the way, which is why I was sharing with you, Forrest, because I'm almost done editing the audio for it through Audacity, and I am about to post it. And it did remind me exactly of how we started off in our talk about meditation and what you were talking about. So I do want to share that with you specifically, just to give you a context. My guru would say, like many Tibetan masters, there's no meditation. Like, there's no meditation. Just know thyself. Holding on to the question throughout all your movement throughout the entire day, that's the meditation. It's not this idea of sitting down. Like, it is great, don't get me wrong, to sit down in front of a tree and like Om Namaste Om for a couple hours. Like, there's nothing that will help clear the head like that. Don't get me wrong. But when you finish that, you're not finished. You that's a lifelong journey. You know what I mean? It's like that will be until the day we get off of this cycle of birth and death. And it's that video that I wanted to show you, because my guru is very candid. My guru is now like 99 years old. So it's like, and Brendon knows this. All right, we're getting ready for the tarot reading. I can't wait. What are we going to draw? What are we going to draw? All right, here we go. I'm going on mute.
Well, go ahead. Finish what you were going to say there.
Well, you know what I was gonna say, bro. It all goes back to my mom and meditation, and you know, and the meaning of life and death. So I see the cards coming out. So I share. I'll share a short guided meditation after you do your reading.
Right. That's what I was thinking too.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Cool.
And then yeah, and then with that said, we'll conclude this broadcast by 12 p.m. So yeah. That's one thing.
Which, by the way, is code for we will continue talking for hours. Yeah.
No, this is actually a new thing where we're keeping with a consistent sort of container of keeping them short.
Well, I like that, because you have then the other platforms where people can continue talking, stuff like that.
So yeah, for anybody. Yeah, so for any, you know, for you guys, if I'll jump in the voice chat for a bit afterwards, but I gotta get to sleep at some point. So, okay. So again, let's okay. I was just gonna read Jorge's comments. Unless Jorge, did you want to read your own comments?
Yeah, about that. Yeah, I think that meditation, that taking time for your meditation in a quiet place and stuff is great, but the most important thing is to be present, like full aware of the present moment, of what you feel, of what you see, of what you think, like. But it is something that you do the whole day, every day. And yeah, I was talking about Eckhart Tolle. I'm sure you know it, right? But he talks about that in his book, and I found that very helpful, because he talks about a lot of religions, a lot of traditions, and he summarizes all of that wisdom in just being present, and is the essence of joy and of being, right? And that's all.
Word. Awesome. Thank you, man. Sweet. Okay, guys. So we're gonna get ready to segue into our tarot card reading. Before we do that, just as we're getting ready to conclude the broadcast, again, I'll just remind you guys that coming up, we'll just take a brief moment here to just kind of overview a couple things. So coming up, part of our objectives within the project are to continue to help support the team Patreon. That's going to be a thing that you'll see more and more in the future, because again, that's part of not just my duty, but it's a collective duty of the team. So if you're able to sign up for the team Patreon sooner rather than later, please feel free to do so, and that will get you a Shifter Booster Kit. Patreon.com/Brendon Culliton. Thank you to everyone signed up and everyone in general for being a part of this. And then in addition to that, the ongoing, or let me just say, the next broadcast, again, reminder, will be Dream Class on July 4th, coming up on the Tuesday. And then next Thursday, again, at 9:36 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, is going to be another team building hangout. And then unless I change that. No, I think we'll stick with that, because that's what I was feeling. Yeah, so because usually we do 2 team building hangouts kind of like back to back. So okay, so next Thursday will be another team building circle, and then the Sunday, July 9th, if everything goes to plan, will be a global meditation, a full moon global meditation. And for those of you who have tuned into the past, you guys know that these are more than just like your standard meditation, but they're actually like an interactive story, like a first person story. So it's like bringing yourself through this realm of the imagination. And if you haven't yet, please feel free to go back and check out some of the previous guided story meditations on the website. You'll see them in the side banners and everything. They're very easy to find. They're very, very potent. So that will be on July 9th, which will be the full moon. And then after that, the next broadcast will be on the following Thursday, which will be the Destiny School broadcast about the consciousness of animals. So that will be a specific topic, again, related to the consciousness of animals. So we're inviting you guys to do a little bit of research ahead of time. Go watch Planet Earth again, or Planet Earth 2, and just get your ideas thinking, like how can we study the animals to learn a little bit more about what we are as humans, and just like how we relate and everything like that. So we can talk about monkeys, we can talk about dolphins, we can talk about plants in some way within the animal kingdom, and just all sorts of different stuff. So that will be coming up in the future. And again, you can find these as reminders on the website under the broadcast calendar as well. And in terms of like objectives for the coming weeks, main objectives at this point would be to encouraging you guys to keep thinking about what quest journals that you can practice creating. So think about ways of how you can document the shift. Think about possibilities of creating a paradigm shift community where you are. These are kind of like ongoing objectives that are always going to be persistent. And also for those of you who directly signed up within the project, it will be to interact through the website within the ongoing shift teams work period, and also any day during the week where we'll be able to work through the shift teams and work towards objectives. And we'll go more into detail as well as that. And so continuing to interact, that's part of the objective, is continuing to interact. And that's like the really cool part of the game. And of course, continuing to do things like free hugs and meditating on the street and planting conscious seeds wherever you guys are, and knowing that those little things totally make the big difference. So that is how you not just accumulate points, but you level up by gaining experience within this game, by doing all of these things, by researching, by studying, by exercising, by eating healthy, by doing things like shiftivism, by creating art. These are all aspects of the game, and the way how you keep track of your progress is through your own personal growth. So keep leveling up, guys, and keep unlocking new abilities. Okay. All right. So we're going to do a tarot card reading now. So this is a tarot deck here. This is the Ananda tarot deck for those of you interested. And again, I just invite you guys. We're just gonna do like a thing where I just kind of like lift it up.
Ananda.
Ananda, that's right.
Ananda. Listen, what does Ananda mean? What
does Ananda mean? Do you know? I'm gonna blow my nose. Tell me real quick.
Well, Sat Chit Ananda, right? Sat Chit Ananda. So Ananda is gonna be bliss or beauty, right? You've got Sat, which is being. Chit, which is, oh man, I feel like I'm gonna totally screw this up right now, but Sat Chit Ananda is just like being into like vitality, but I think the last one corresponds to divine bliss. So you've Sat would be, you know what, you do it. I'll come back and before we finish, I'll give it back to you.
Okay, cool, sweet. Awesome. All right. And sweet. And again, guys, just going back to what I was saying just before the draw, another aspect of the game is inviting your friends to the project as well. So you can tell your friends about Paradigm Shift, and even talk to your local friends and mention the idea to them about creating a Paradigm Shift meetup where you are. And that can help accelerate things when you have someone else who you're directly working with. So yeah, we've talked about a lot within this broadcast. It's been a beautiful experience just to get to know each other once again, and to be able to share our stories, learn about some of our gifts, our skills, our talents, our abilities within the game. And now we are going to conclude with a tarot card draw, which in some way will reflect, most presumably, usually does, oftentimes, how through the deck, like a resonating message for the group. So it's very cool to see how this works. So again, I just invite you guys to join me in kind of just like meditating our intentions and basically at this point just asking the universe to show us what we need to see. So this is a chance for the universe to communicate to us as a collective, as a community. So all right, let's see what card we got. All right, so the card for this team broadcast. Okay, all right, very cool. I've seen this card many times within my times. This is a card of the Empress. So this is one of the suit cards, one of the major arcana, and I will just open it up right here, and I will read this here while holding this up to the screen. So listen carefully, and you can even just kind of meditate as I'm reading this. The Empress, the image, apparently above all earthly things, and yet holding the fertile landscape in her lap, the devoted being of the essence of femininity extends far beyond her own boundaries. Meaning, from the connection with the pair of opposites, the mind is realized by projecting its expressions through the essence of the soul. What up to now has existed as an idea and took on form through the power of fantasy now becomes factual as a manifestation of material reality. So even just there, that's a really big part. You know, this is about us as a team kind of coming forth into our intentions of gathering and creating together. The mystery of life, which expresses itself through the manifold, constantly renewing forms of life, manifests in every single being as well as in the entirety of all the displays of nature, be it in a microbe or a galaxy. Everything that exists independent of its form is an expression of one and the same life. As the human being tries to be authentic through the personification of her original inner truth, she manages to transform from creature to fundamental essence. This same power which serves nature and reveals itself as inexhaustible richness in a variety of life forms lies dormant as a creative potential in everyone. Let me just reread that sentence right here. That's very important. This same power which serves nature and reveals itself as an inexhaustible richness in a variety of life forms lives dormant as a creative potential in everyone. In the individual, it is revealed as adaptability, inventiveness, or creative expression. The irresistible charm of nature as pretended in the colors and forms of flourishing life practices its individual pull on various creatures, with the goal of nurturing the currents of life with fertility and growth. In spite of all the magic and the enticement, with the elegance of blossoming life exudes, it all contains the consciousness of the constant presence of the eternal circle of birth and death, as well as the necessity of bearing the consequences that the endless cycles bring. Astrological classifications: Moon, Venus, Taurus. Keywords: creative potential, anima, sensibility, adaptability, artistic expression, creative effort, development, courage, naturalness, embodiment of inner being, truth, life-affirming attitude, planetary consciousness, cultivation. Traditional meaning: fertility, growth, female power, sensitivity, connection to the earth, power of nature, new birth, beauty, female attraction, seduction, maternal. So again, I'll just say a quick thing here and then just inviting anybody else to kind of just share what that card means to them or what they feel they see in it. This is a very powerful card, and I think this card in many ways is us. You know, it is what Paradigm Shift is about. It's really bringing to the surface this feminine energy and this idea of being able to see the interconnectedness and being able to tap into the creative potentials within each one of us and being able to really foster and carry through the birthing process what it is that we're creating. And I think, again, you know, through Paradigm Shift, through us as a team, that's a very powerful idea, is that like, let's see what happens when we really nurture something in an incubation state with the intention of birthing it through a long period of time. So again, you know, with the Paradigm Shift Central project, the bigger goal is to have like this like a beautiful team of activated avatars, of activated Jedis and light guardians, and the creation of physical paradigm shift communities and this network and this hub where people will continue to be involved and engaged and inspired through. So the Empress is definitely a card that I invite all of us to continue to meditate on. And again, you know, within this project, as much as I do it within my own path, really inviting us to be proud about sort of the Empress within, that female energy that we carry within, that caring, nurturing, maternal instinct, to be able to see, you know, to be able to genuinely have compassion and caring for others, for the globe, for the world, for community, and just continuing to put forth that just like that very sensible humbleness that is like just very beautiful and very sincere, and also very subtle in many ways. So that's a bit about the Empress there. So if anybody else has any thoughts to share on that, we'll just have a couple minutes for that, and then we'll move into the closing meditation. So Empress, go ahead and let me just double check the microphones. Yeah, go ahead. You're muted right now.
Oh, sorry. Let me turn this fan off also. So I'm doing the closing meditation, or at least I'm doing one closing meditation. And yes, the Ananda means bliss or absolute beauty. So Sat Chit Ananda, right? Truth, consciousness, bliss. It's a very similar triad to the triad in Platonic metaphysics, which is being, intellect, vitality. So Sat is existence, like eternal being. Chit is consciousness, again, like the awareness of the self. And then bliss is when you, that experiential sort of experience of that awakening. And according to Wikipedia, which is the source of truth, it is an epithet and description for the subjective experience of the ultimate unchanging reality in Hinduism called Brahman, which is why, once again, I have on my, you know, that famous tattoo, right? Tat Vamasi from the Mundaka Upanishad, right? Thou art that. Tat Vamasi, right? Atman is Brahman, Brahman is Atman. Very simple. But I said this even in a reaction video the other day. It's like the simple for the wise may not be the simple for the fool. And it's because it's like, unfortunately, not many people get the chance to study knowledge. They get fed a lot of BS, and they get brainwashed, I guess is the correct term, and they become like one of the sheep being led to the slaughter, unfortunately. But the beauty about the ultimate nature of reality is that no matter what path you choose in this lifetime, you're always going to end up on a path to enlightenment because of the immortality of the soul. Now, Buddhism would argue with me a little bit on this because they want to go on the direction of impermanence. Like there is no soul, there is no Atman. They talk about Anatman, right? Anatman, no Atman. But they were in reaction against Buddhism. So at any rate, for the first time, actually ever, with you, if you don't mind, I would like to share with you one sort of final closing meditation, as it were, if it's okay.
Yeah,
if I can do that now.
Let's just give one more minute just to see if Forrest or Jorge had any response to the Empress card, and then we'll pass it back to you. So Forrest is good. Jorge, I'm assuming you're good.
Yeah, everything's good. I think that Yeah, what resonates to me the most is that we need to be like more creative with this community, and what Forrest said about he was complaining in a way. Oh no, it was wisdom. What was your name? Sorry, wisdom loop, wisdom lover. Well, what he was saying is that people prefer to watch like trash things on YouTube, like the.
Sorry, you're talking wisdom lover. Yes,
Oh
sorry,
yeah,
sorry.
sorry. Yeah, yeah. Because when you talk about that, people prefer to watch trash things on the internet, and they give a higher priority to things that doesn't matter too much. Like they're
Right,
that I think that that's when we need to be more creative, so we can help them. Tell them the things we want to tell them, show them the truth that we want to show them, but in a more creative way that makes them like feel interested about it. That's why movies are there.
right,
That's what music is there. That's what books are there.
right,
Like
right,
for
right,
example, Star Wars talks about all this
right.
spirituality
No,
things.
absolutely. I mean, and Star Wars was written, based upon Joseph Campbell, from George Lucas, who talked about it many a time. And, it's like, I feel like one thing I'm doing when I do these reaction videos to like Simon Cowell and like first of all, I just want to react to my guru who's speaking pure wisdom all the time. Like that's, to be honest, that's the only thing I'd really like to deal with. But what do I get? I get like 41 hits on that video in like 3 months. Because why? Because nobody cares about wisdom. But I do a Mandy Harvey video, I get 1,400 hits in a week. But what do? I slip in the Neoplatonic metaphysics within the video. So it's like, I'm adding the language. Like I'm the language is there. I'm
Yeah,
talking
that's
about
how we need to play.
Yeah,
exactly, right? Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
It's like
that's totally.
make them think they're watching something, but when they walk away, they go, "Wait a second, what did I just see?"
Yeah. And again, I think it's and what, as much as we could talk about this for hours on hours, just kind of again, speaking just kind of in theme with this, like the recent Wonder Woman movie is really reflective of like the power of the Empress and stuff, and oftentimes, it's not. Sometimes the biggest influence we can have on people is not simply by telling them, but by showing them in a lot of ways. And I think, like the Wonder Woman movie is this great example of kind of like what the feminine embodied, empowered energy can appear as much as it can appear in many different forms. But yeah, I see the Empress as being a call for us to really use the work with the energy of the Empress to find more creative ways to continue to bring the shift into culture. It's this very simple but powerful idea of stepping into the role of being the bridge. That is what I feel we are. Many of us are. We're hearing that call to be the bridge between higher conscious ideas and mainstream culture. And the way how we do that, in addition to shiftivism and meditating in streets and free hugs and action like that, is through our art, is through, creatively implementing these ideas into, art that can be used as a vehicle to reach more people, which again is what a big part of this project is. It's not just about creating media, it's about creating conscious media. Again, there's different types of media. There's the media that people will watch to tune out, and then there's the media that people will watch to tune in. And sometimes people may watch something not realizing that it's inviting them to tune in. But as we said, when you can get creative, you can start to find ways of being able to get this information to people in a way that's going to be exciting, educational, and inspirational as well, which is a big thing with what
Brendon, you must have been dealing with this for years because you've already been doing this for years. But when I first started like getting views on this particular video and comments and people from around the world that I have no clue who they are giving inspirational comments and whatnot, because this girl was deaf and I don't know if you remember or if you even care or watch about these American Got Talent or Britain's Got Talent or anything like this, but it's like this girl was deaf. She lost her hearing when she was like 20, and she decided not to give up, but to get back into singing. And it's like, you know, and I know that's spiritual language right there, you know? When the world wants you to just that puts everything against you to try to make you give up, and you just go, nope. Like, there's a lesson to be learned here. I will continue and I will persevere. That's how you know. That's how you know.
Yeah.
That's how you know you're following the true path of awakening, because you're not allowing yourself to give in. Okay, so here's my quote. Here's my closing quote. All right.
So this is a meditation that we're about to get into.
Basically it's a meditation, in the sense that it is a quote / response that deals with everything that is important in the Platonic tradition. It is a response from my guru to somebody on a Gnostic website about the pursuit of pleasure.
Okay, so is there this and a small meditation that you want to do?
No. I mean, like his response is the meditation.
Okay. All right. So just inviting people to tune in and listen.
Understand what I mean?
Okay. All right. Go ahead, and then we'll close off the ceremony after this.
Absolutely. All right. So here we go. I want you to understand before I say this, Om Namaste Om, that the entire Platonic tradition is withheld within this one sharing. Here we go. If one does not accept that our existence is a mystery, one cannot be said to be rational. If being here and facing one's own death does not awaken one to wonder, then one cannot be said to be rational. For the entry into the use of the mind always starts with the quest to know what is the nature of our very own existence. What is it to be fully a human being will not be known through silencing one's desires to know by escaping to some belief system, be it political or religious. While one is puzzling this out, one needs to know how to live fully in the moment with a spirit of fairness to yourself and others. Consider, could that very step begin one's quest to know oneself? But if there is a way to come to realize what the self is, would it be worth the effort? Surely we need a simple and direct way to see if it is worthwhile to follow this path. Indeed, it should become obvious if we hold fast to the question, quote, what is it that sees and hears and thinks, ? End quote. Because it is by searching for an answer for oneself that it is possible to discover in a short time if it is worth the doing. Once you have come to realize that difference it makes to pursue this question, you can ask, quote, what is the role of pleasure in my life? ? Do I see that pleasure becomes a problem if it causes you to turn away from your goals and minimize your quest for excellence in your pursuits? ? For pleasure has its own goal. It brings immediate satisfaction, and it can bring a forgetfulness of your most fundamental goals. The pursuit of pleasure has the power to wash away all else from one's mind. But there is an antidote that can allow its presence, yet minimize its influence. Curious, is it? Or not? quote, this note was sent on a Gnostic Facebook in response to a question about pleasure. So there you go. That's how you figure out the true self. Forget pleasure, figure out the self, achieve the goals, strive for excellence. Done deal.
Awesome. Thank you, brother. And thank you to your guru as well. And yeah, you know, I think that's when the path really gets exciting is when we begin to shift our relationship with pleasure, and oftentimes pleasure that in many ways can be distraction in a lot of ways. And through doing that, we in turn like develop more willpower, and in turn the universe kind of recognizes this and will return to us even more fruitful experiences, be it through our meditations and through our dreams. So, you know, sometimes if you're like finding yourself like seeking some sort of pleasure stimuli based on a previous habit, try to shift that habit into sitting down for 5 minutes and meditating and finding new pleasure through the stillness in a lot of ways. And it is pleasurable. It's just in many ways unfamiliar for us. So develop like new habits within your life to sort of reprogram your mind. And again, you know, I think once you start tapping into this, and once you start tapping into like more fruitful dreams and everything like that, suddenly this reality expands just beyond this physical. And I think a lot of times like the pleasure things that we commonly turn to within this reality are what kind of keep us here. They kind of keep us like grounded within this physical dimension, which again is not a bad thing. And I'm not saying that's wrong. It's just kind of like, okay, you've played that for a while, let's play something else.
It is a bad thing. And I'm not going to say wrong or right, because it's like that's a value judgment. But like bad, I don't know if it's a value judgment. It's like last night I had to take like 10 Valium and like 5 codeine and like 5 tablet pills just to fucking make it through the fucking night, so that I wasn't just sneezing and sniffling and like dying my fucking ass off. But the whole time, I also know that I'm in a dirty environment, and it's like I got my AC on, I got my fans, and it's like, well, I'm in Cambodia, dude. You know what? I hate to break the news to you, but in Cambodia, there's a lot of dust. There's a lot of dust. And it's like, you know, I would love to just be in an open green park with you right now. You know, maybe that's what I'll do tonight when I fall asleep. I'll put myself in the dream space of like just an open green park with you tonight. We'll be frolicking in the dandelions. And then I'll get sick and allergic to the dandelions, and I'll start sneezing.
It's funny. We both have a cold right now, so I think it's kind of funny.
That's funny.
Yeah, but again, you know, we're clearing something, so getting ready to level up. So, but yeah,
it's true.
Yeah, so again, you know, kind of wrapping up this broadcast, for myself, I'm definitely feeling the call within my own path to sort of like get more into the habit of like making more refined choices within my willpower, to begin focusing more on my dreams, to begin focusing more on my meditation, and in turn allow myself to continue to step into who I came here to be as an individual, as well as a leader, as well as a captain amongst captains. And that's a big part within this project. And I keep saying this, you know, this is really a project of captains amongst captains, and helping people activate that leadership quality within themselves, so that as much as, you know, anything that I'm saying or anybody else in this broadcast is saying is inspiring to you, you can continue to be an inspiration for other people who you connect with and who are in your community. And that's the ripple effect. So
can I just say one thing about every time you bring up the word dreams?
Sure.
I really need you. Well, I don't need you to do anything. What I would like for you to do is to remember my words about dreams. Whatever's happening in the waking world that we think we're succeeding at, but we're truly failing at, that is what the Dream Master will give us in our dreams. And whatever that we're truly succeeding at, but we're not giving ourselves credit for, and we think we're failing at, that's what the dream master will give us in our dreams. In other words, we have to always be able to see the opposite of what we think. And that's a difficult trick, right? Like and that trick is the wrong word, but it's a difficult thing to see. Like, if I think that, this is that, and then somebody comes along and shows me that that is really this, it's like you gotta like really step back and go, okay, wait a second, like what's really going on? Use all the evidence you can, but you've had many dreams throughout your whole life, and I can tell you one thing. This comes back down to the dream master and the higher consciousness, which I'm glad no one's listening now because it's the end of the podcast, so no one will ever get to this part.
This is top secret right now.
Yeah, this is the top secret part. I'm telling you, man, like as long as we think we know, we're never gonna know. And you know that. I mean, like you've been steeped in spirituality long enough for when I say something like that, If you think you know, you don't know, and if you don't think you know, you probably do. So you really just got to take a step back and look, try to figure out what the mind is telling you, and then that even goes back to the macro and the micro, because it's like once you recognize your own micro, you're gonna recognize the macro, and once you recognize the macro, you're gonna recognize the micro. I mean, I've been using a saying a lot recently, which I'm hating because I don't mean to oversimplify it, but I keep saying it's as simple as that. But it's only as simple as that to people who see. To people who don't see, it's not that simple. I hate to say it, but when I woke up this morning, it's been a couple of times I've been trying to join you. It's like it's daytime for me. It's like 11 o'clock in the afternoon. It's 11 o'clock for you at night, 12 o'clock for you at night. Now you're going to bed, and now I'm finally waking up. Our difficulty has been the time issues, but also because I'm saving up a lot to go back to India. And I do want to help produce content for you, and however else I should do it and through whatever platform. But I'm just a beginner, like my shit's not that great. It's just me responding. It's just me. I'm still figuring out Audacity and Photoshop. I did build my website from scratch. I'll say that much, like I did everything from scratch. So I'm on the right track, brother. I am on the right track.
Man. Totally, man.
But I will tell you this. I got a long way to go before I become like, J.K. Rowling and sell like, 1 million parables or 20 million parables or however many she did it on. But it's like when I come back and I check in with you, it's like you're there. You're still building, creating content, like you're microfinancing. It's like, by the way, every time that I am not part of Patreon, I do feel like a piece of shit. But I just...
No worries, man.
No. I have enough money to buy fucking like beer, but I don't have enough money to fucking give you $3 a month. It's bullshit. It really is. It's fucking bullshit. And so, trust me, I think about it a lot. I really do. But you were there for me. You were there for me when I lost my mom, and for that much, I am extremely grateful. And I'll just leave it at that. I have not lost. I have not stopped paying attention. I pay attention to everything. So I'm glad to have finally participated again in a great talk with everyone. And you, my brother, you did inspire me. Remember, I've told you this story many times when I came back from South America and I was stuck. But I still had my mom then. And, the one reaction video that I got so many hits on, it's like it wasn't even the one that I dedicated to my mom. It's like, but it is still a message of inspiration and hope and courage and growth. So that's what people will respond to, like, I will admit. And so you and I, we're going to go big. And so then what do we got to do? We got to monetize, and we got to become rich. And then we got to get to buy an airplane. And then we got to travel the world. And it's the prosperity of wealth, man. The prosperity of wealth.
Yeah. I dig it.
I'm just kidding inside. I'm just kidding inside. Listen, man. Om Namaste Om. I love you from the bottom of my heart, brother. I'll let you go.
Awesome. Thank you, brother. And yeah, and as you were saying that, I shared your channel in the live chat, and we'll definitely get it synced up, because I can see that there's a lot of stuff on your channel that I haven't had the chance to immediately check out yet. And I think it's great that you have been producing, recently within the last month and stuff. And I want to take
It's getting better. It's getting better. Like the early
practice,
stuff,
man.
Exactly, right? That's what they say. What practice makes perfect, right? Practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this quick question before we go.
Question.
Have you heard of JP Sears?
Yes.
Okay. He was the one that got me on the reaction video to begin with, because he was the one that did that, how to be ultra spiritual, and he took a piss out of spiritual people. And now I met a lot of people like that in India when I was studying with Muji, right? And I had never seen it before, but he ended up on the Mind Rolling podcast, and the Mind Rolling podcast is connected back to Ram Dass. Now, Ram Dass is, of course, Be Here Now. And this goes back to Muji, Papaji, and the Maharishi lineage. So I was not fucking around. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a reaction video to this guy, JP Sears. Now, the first reaction video that I did, I wasn't too sure if he was like really a spiritual person, or if he was just taking a piss out of spiritual people, or like what his real deal was. But I took a piss out of him, he took a piss out of me, and it's fine. That's no problem. But then I took a piss out of him again, and now him and I think we're gonna have a good time going back and forth.
Cool.
But the second one that I did was grieving with the death of a spouse. Now, of course, here's what happened is that my stepdad, after I did my first reaction video, he came back to me and he said, hey, listen, this one guy that you just did a reaction video on, he did a reaction video on, or a comment on, how to deal with the grieving of a spouse. And I thought about you and your dog. I thought about me and my mom. And I thought about every human being going through this very same similar unfortunate circumstance. The fact that our bodies are mortal and that our souls are not, but it doesn't change the fact that we hurt when we leave this place. And when I watched that, I finally was like, okay, he shut me up for a moment. And he really did give some good advice, and it was similar to kind of like a lot of the things that you said when you were talking about your dog. And there's no difference, like I killed a couple cockroaches the other day. Like, I know that karma is just weighing on my soul. Like, I can't, like, every time I hurt an ant, like when it's crawling on me, I'm like, I can't have ants crawling on me. Sorry. But I feel the pain every time I fucking kill that ant. I try to get rid of the spiders. I try to put them outside. But it's like, but if I eat a beef burger, but I didn't have to kill that cow, I'm okay. That's why in India, I felt like the biggest hypocrite. I lived in a vegetarian place by law. It was so beautiful. Got to walk next to the cows everywhere you go. And they're just your friends. And they're just taking shits everywhere. And they just do what they want to do. And still, the vegetarian food is great. So no guilt, no nothing, just everybody on a spiritual journey. Nobody wanted to know the name Kevin. Everybody wanted to know the name Wisdom Lover. Dude, India, you're coming.
I'll make it there, man. I'd love to.
Start planning it out.
It's already there.
2018.
20-ish. We'll see.
No.
Or sooner.
I'll pay for your ticket. It's
I'll
all
definitely,
good.
by the time I'm 33, I will definitely be traveling much more. So
I will be paying for your ticket. You'll be coming a lot earlier.
You can help sponsor the project. So
yes. I'll be Patreon. This is earmarked for his ticket to India.
Cool.
I love you guys.
Thank you so much. And
namaste.
Totally, man. Namaste. Awesome. And for people looking to check out Wisdom Lover on YouTube, look up Wisdom Lover Experience. Wisdom Lover is one word, and then experience is its own word. And again, I'll put it into the show notes for this as well. And again, like just going back and wrapping up the broadcast right now, I think keeping in mind that a lot of us, what we're doing with our productions, and a lot of us are like building our individual YouTube channels. I think that's wonderful, and I think that's beautiful. And I think, in the past paradigm, it was understandable for everyone to almost try and do everything by themselves. Not everything, but I'm just using that as a phrase loosely, like everyone will be like lifting their own YouTube channel, like on their own might and everything like that. And now, in addition to still being able to focus on our individual works, it's very exciting to see what will happen when we get the opportunity to continue to collaborate. And so suddenly it's
I like that. Collaboration is very important, man.
Yeah, and that's, again, moving forward with this project, that's a big intention with it, is just being able to collaborate on projects. And that's what we could be continuing to do, like outside of these broadcasts, so for anybody who's enticed by that idea and wants to be involved in collaboration in terms of many different aspects, creation of media, brainstorming ideas, creating events for the community, there's a lot of things that will happen. So yeah, okay, let's conclude this broadcast. This broadcast was just under 3 hours long, which that's okay. I'm totally cool with that. And I think we covered a lot of great ground. And again, just being able to evolve as a team and share our stories. Just want to give a chance before we wrap it up. Forrest, is there anything else that you want to share before we conclude this broadcast? Either even just like express any gratitude or anything that you might want people to keep in mind. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I really want to say thanks for, having everything set up like this, because, this is the first time that you and I are actually, one-on-one, involved in creating something like this Google Hangout, where we are cooperating and creating that for what it has turned into in this moment right now. And so, I'm just super glad to be, a part of that. I'm just so glad that, people like Wisdom Lover were also part of that, and everybody else who was, involved in this one particular Google Hangout is super awesome. And I hope, I'm not sure like if you like record these or anything like that, but I would love to, get a copy so I can like go through it again and rewatch it. Cause I really think that whenever we were going through the experiment, that was
it's pretty cool. It will be up online. There's no doubt about that. He's good at that. He's good at that.
Well, yeah. So, this coming up week, it's probably going to be difficult for me to be in contact with anybody, because I'm actually going on a meditation retreat for about 7 or 8 days. And it will be with zero technology, no cell phones, internet, phone calls or anything. So, I'm going to be pretty immersed in that world. So I unfortunately will not be able to make, the live broadcast next week, but, I will come back. And I'm sure, by the time I come back, I'll have some great experiences to tell you about. I'm not sure if you've ever done anything like that, like a no technology week-long sort of a thing.
I expect nothing less than Satori.
I'm there already. So it's like this is going to take me to even higher places.
Okay, good. Good. I like to hear that.
Yeah. So yeah. Again, I really appreciate you allowing me to come on and not only like view this, but be somebody who has a voice and can be heard, for you to allow that, I just really appreciate that. So thank you.
Awesome, man. Thank you too.
One of my favorite stories. I don't mean to cut you off, but you know, hey, I gotta do it once before we end, right?
That's tradition.
Satori, like my favorite story is about the monk who was like eating a hamburger and he was in the Satori and he didn't know, and then he got to his elbow.
That's it. That's the story. Okay.
Yeah.
Forrest, thank you as well.
story.
Forrest, I was going to say, just keep in the back of your mind with the retreat that you're going on, the meditation retreat. Keep in mind, you know, an experience like that is potentially a great opportunity for something that you could write a quest journal about upon your return, or even, you know, if you're there. I don't know if you're using a notebook, if you'd be writing notes much, opposed to, I guess you can. Yeah, you're nodding, opposed to technology and stuff. But I mean, yeah, you know, like I think that could be a very beautiful quest journal, a well-articulated one about, you know, that's because with an experience like that, like you're not going to be able to film at that experience, but you can still document it. And
well, you know, I'm sorry to cut you off, but
go ahead.
You know, it's also cool, you know, because really, you know, I'm doing this, but it's really like not really all my thing. A big reason why I'm going to this meditation retreat, it's actually an ordination ceremony. So it's like a really big official thing that's going on. And I was messaging you. There was a professor who attended my lecture that I gave at the University of South Alabama. And he attended. He had never gone to meditation classes or anything, but after my lecture, he ended up attending meditation classes and has since then, you know, continuously gone. He's brought his family with him, and it's just like changed his life. And what's really cool about it is that in this ceremony, he is actually becoming officially a monk. So I am... you know, I'm linked to that karma of introducing somebody to, you know, a spiritual perspective that they just wanted to be so much a part of, that they're going through. You know, I'm going for 1 week, he's going for 2 weeks, and he's shaving his head. He's
when we end this, please stay on for us, because I want to talk to you a little bit more about that.
You know, man, I wish I could, but I honestly have to be awake and be somewhere in about 6 hours. So, but
you know, then you enjoy that meditation retreat.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. And we'll definitely talk again, man, for sure.
For sure.
But thanks again, Brendon.
Thank you, Forrest. And so again, you know, just as much as you're able to and stuff, I think, you know, writing and creating a quest journal will be a great way for you to document this. And that's, you know, I'm saying that to anyone. So for anyone who's maybe going to a retreat or some sort of experience, and I'll just say this, because I didn't talk about it much this broadcast. You know, I just got back from a transformational festival over the last weekend. For me, being at a transformational festival is a very powerful experience, just getting to connect with people and getting to step into my activated avatar Jedi self, doing free hugs and everything around the festival, my elf self as well, the elf within the self. But one thing I was going to say, for me, you know, there's always a sort of like this polarization of like wanting to film things at an experience like that, but it was important for me to take the camera and to like really put it away at certain times, knowing that before I can document things with my camera, I need to document them with my heart first and foremost. And I think that's the important thing, is like really practicing that as an opportunity to be present in that moment and to really record the experience with your heart. So when you're like, I'm just saying this to you, Forrest, and to anyone, when you're at that meditation, do that. Like, as much as you're present, literally be documenting it with your heart, whatever that means to you, and exploring ways how you can continue to share that. Because I think by the time you get back, by the time you get your fingers to the keyboard again, it will probably just flow right through you. You know, you'll probably have like, just be like, oh, you know, like this is a cool story to share. So I look forward to that. We'll definitely talk more about it, and you know, we can brainstorm and collaborate and refine things. And
quick question before we go. So my blog posts, can I just put them on as quest journals or what?
Yeah, we can take a look at that, and if there's any formatting that we need to do, we can do that.
Good,
so,
all right, good.
Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
Fine,
Any blog. This is so just tech note, and then we're wrapping this up.
Because that is I have created like
just
there's
a
few
stuff.
things, you know. No, it's like this is all in the last year, bro.
Yeah.
Like you have inspired me, man. You really have.
Well,
You have. It's like,
yeah.
I don't know how much it's gonna cost to get one of those things sent to me to Cambodia, but I guess we're gonna have to find out.
One of what things?
One of those little
The light
free
guardian
hug.
crystals? Oh, the
No,
free hugs?
the free hug, the free hug package
It's just
with
shipping
like
is too
with like
much.
10,000 buttons.
10,000 buttons. Okay, we'll send
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I love you guys.
Okay. Just a quick tech note: when people are submitting quest journals, just so you guys understand, because this recently changed, the quest journals now go through a process where they aren't automatically live, so they have to be approved. But the approval process is just a chance for me to make sure that technical wise the layout is correct. So sometimes if there's a quest journal that comes through, there may be some like stuff that's out of order, or maybe some stuff that we can refine. That's where we just take a moment to do that before we put it live. So, but yeah, again, part of my task, part of my job as the director within this project is to work alongside you guys to be able to help refine things. So rather than you guys just like putting up a half-ass quest journal and me just being like, meh, good enough, like I take the time to work with you guys to say like, how can we make this better? How can we refine this? Understanding that, presentation goes a long way. When you can create like this super awesome story, but if the formatting isn't good, if the presentation isn't good, people might not read it, right? So we want to, again, going back to the idea, going back to the Empress card, how can we continue to be the bridge? How can we make things accessible? And I think, just like taking the attention to detail will go a long way. So, okay, guys, we're wrapping up this broadcast now. So I thank you guys so much again for being a part of it. If you haven't yet, check out ParadigmShiftCentral.com. The ongoing stuff between the broadcasts will primarily be happening through the Shift Teams individual forums. So if you haven't yet, join the Shift Teams that align with you, engage with the forums on the Shift Teams. I'll be getting into the habit of posting there more. So you'll see like, me posting within the animations team and the video production team and the mental health team and any of the other teams, the articles team. Those are kind of like the main ones that I'm involved with currently, but I'm really across the entire board. And I invite you guys to, get involved and keep an eye on the player activity within the website so that you can see where new posts are coming through. So within the website, there's a little player activity button. Make a habit of going on the website, checking every day as much as you choose to, and just kind of like showing up and even jumping in the live chat and saying hello. And again, this is about developing habit and routine. And we are still, it's endless new beginnings and is really reflected within this project. So as much as, last week things were new, this week things are still new. And that's the very exciting part. So ParadigmShiftCentral.com. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this. Patreon.com/Brendon Culliton. Add your support when you can. Get your Shifter Booster Kit. Find me directly at YouTube.com/SkullBabylon and Facebook.com/SkullBabylon. Be sure to like Paradigm Shift Central on Facebook at Facebook.com/Paradigm Shift Central. Tell your friends about Paradigm Shift. And as always, keep doing the little things that make the big difference. Keep working on yourself and keep it shifty. So until next time, guys, we're wrapping up this broadcast, and I just joined Wisdom Lover and Forrest to join me in saying goodnight. And be sure to check the show notes for links to everybody else's content that was featured in this broadcast. And much love to everybody tuned in. And feel free to leave your comments on the YouTube, and any feedback is greatly appreciated. Share the video with your friends. So join me in saying goodnight, guys. So make some noise. Go.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Awesome. Much love, everyone.
I'll just say namaste.
Namaste. Awesome.
I love you guys.
Awesome.
Bye-bye.
Thank you again so much, everyone. Until next time, we will see you in the future. Peace and wholeness. Much love.